they do. Would it be trouble if they knew? I'm trying hard to make you see. All that you are is all that I need. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on. I know that it's a secret and that I gotta keep it, but I want the lights on, yeah, I want the lights on. And I don't wanna run away anymore. Leave the lights on, leave the lights on, leave the lights on.
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on.
This is going to be really hard because every corner looks the same. And a very warm welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing channel. We're here for the 10th round of the ATC GT3 Super Season here. We've got the Tier 2s out in front of us right now at Paul Ricard. We've got some very mildly moist conditions in front of us, so it's going to be extra tricky for these drivers in what is essentially a maze of a circuit. It's going to be interesting trying to figure out which corners we're at. Ian and the Greek alongside me. Guys, to me, every corner looks the same around this track, so I might need some help, some pointers from you, Ian, for sure.
Yeah, a left then a right. Oh look, they're going around the right again. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. The Greek, welcome along, commentating on last week's race at Silverstone. Good to have you in the box as well, mate. Welcome along.
Yeah, thank you for having me back. I'm glad you guys wanted me to come back and commentate again.
Yeah, it's good to have you here, and we've got a trio here for the Tier 2s, but obviously for the Tier 1s it will be just myself and the Greek. Ian will be taking part in the Tier 1 race coming up shortly, but he's here to give us his driving expertise for this Tier 2 race. He's been doing a bit of practice, haven't you, Ian, I imagine, in the build up to this one?
Yeah, I have, as per usual, been having some help from JR with the setups. Hats off to him for helping me, week in, week out. And the track is not overly complicated. It still can catch out, especially after the long straight. You've got that faster right-hander, it can really catch out.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely a difficult one because you're going into the corner at such high speed, and you really feel like you can carry a lot more speed into it than you actually can. I've experienced that one a few times, and yeah, it's extra difficult. But also in the wet conditions, it's definitely going to throw a spanner in the works for these guys who have practiced it in the dry. But having said that, I think a lot of the drivers will have been practicing in the wet in lead up to this, with the server settings being the same as they're set to be for the race. Just noticing here, guys, we've got CK1 and Milden both tied at the top of the leaderboard on the exact same time. So it's incredibly close here at the top. Milden in his debut here in the GT3s this week, I think, unless he made it last week. I wasn't here last week, but I believe this is his debut.
Yeah, this is his debut. I've not seen him out on track before.
Yeah, so he's doing brilliantly, taking the fight to CK1 almost immediately. Championship leader Mario Depp has got over 100-point lead to CK1. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a task for CK1 to close that gap. And Mario Depp, we know, does struggle in the wet. I think the races that I've seen him drive in the wet have always gone badly for Mario Depp. He is championship leader though, so he'll be hoping that he doesn't lose too many points to CK1 tonight. Having said that though, 100-point gap, he should be alright with that one. But yeah, it's going to be quite exciting to see. Actually, do you know what? I think Tier 2, this is the last round of the season, isn't it? Because the Tier 1s finish next week at Misano, but Tier 2's actually finished the Misano race, didn't they? So this is the final race of the season. Everything gets decided now. Obviously the top 5 for the Tier 2s do get promotion up to Tier 1 at the end of this season, so there's a lot on the line, and there's a few drivers in with a shout of getting that final promotion spot. You got Sergey Zainalov sat on 261 points, 4th in the standings. You got Costas, you got Rakos sat in 5th on 254, tied with Cam Diz on 254 points. So this is going to get tasty, guys, for sure. We've definitely got a lot on the line, that is for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a few drivers out there that are still, well, yeah, no, I would say from, no, I would say pretty much wherever else is right now is pretty much where the final standings are going to be, apart from the 2 that are pretty much drawn on points. But everybody that is in the side of the relegation zone is safe for this round, pretty much regardless of where they come.
Yeah, because obviously the relegation zone's not relevant to this one due to the fact that this is the Tier 2s and there's no tier below the Tier 2s at the moment. So the drivers who race in this tier for this season will get priority for next season regardless of where they finish in this in these standings. So that's lucky for the drivers at the bottom of this table. But just seeing here, Illusions has done the fastest time of the session. I'm not familiar with Illusions. Is he a new driver to the series? He must be a new driver.
No. Yeah, he's been in here for a good few weeks now, I think.
Illusions, he definitely wasn't here the last time I commentated on Tier 2, for sure.
Yeah, he was. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he must have raced at Silverstone. Yeah, no, I wasn't here last week. So Illusions raced at Zolder. Ah.
Yeah, I remember him at Zolder.
Oh, he's doing a great job here tonight. He's currently sat at the top of the leaderboard. He's got ahead of CK1 and Milden Sim Racing. Sergey currently sat in 4th.
Sorry to cut you off there, but the one person I'm very surprised that his car choice is the wall going for the Gallardo.
Wow, I have not seen anybody go for that.
Yeah, that's no, I think it's the slowest car out of the GT3 group. So it's a very weird choice for him to go for. So but he's a little over a second off of that top step. So he's also got something right with it.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a guy who likes to be adventurous, doesn't he? He's wanting to show that he's putting himself, he's sort of putting himself really in the deep end there is the wall. It's good to see him, yeah, really testing himself out. But the wall is a guy who regularly appears in our YouTube comment section here at Motive Racing, and he's a big fan. He always gives us support. One of our patrons as well. So yeah, hats off to him for you know, doing it for Gallardo, as I say. Yeah, it's very bold choice.
Nice looking car as well.
Milden Sim Racing, the second clear at the top of the leaderboard, ahead of Illusions. So he's getting that beamer flying. I have not. No, I have never driven a BMW on ACC.
It's actually really nice. Unlike pretty much all the rest of the GT3 cars, the BMW is the only one with a turbo flutter. When you let off the accelerator, all you hear is that turbo flutter, and it is really nice. But when you're in the cockpit view, in the screen where you can't see the steering wheel, it's very hard to see.
I can imagine it would be, yeah. But it must sound pretty cool from inside that cockpit, that is for sure.
Yeah.
Especially you've got some decent headphones on, you can really get that authentic experience from within inside that car. But It looks like Milden's currently in the pits. He's the only BMW on the field, and he's put it on pole, provisional pole at the moment. CK1's just going around there through the, I'm not quite sure which part of the lap he's on at the moment. He's a 10th off of Illusions.
He's coming at the back end.
The back end of the circuit, fair dues. We see RaKiMaJe crossing over the line. He goes P4 for now, just over a second behind Milden Sim Racing. Greenwood sat in 5th, he's 1.3 seconds off. You've got Sergey currently sat in 6th at the moment. Sergey sat in that 4th place in the championship standings. He really needs to get a better result than RaKiMaJe and Cam Diz tonight, and Cam currently not with us, so Cam looks like he's not going to be able to pick up that podium, that promotion spot. Yeah, he has. Mario Depp's done a great lap there, almost into the 201s. In fact, has he? I think he has done a 201, just under a 202 there from Mario Depp, a 201.998. So great stuff there from Mario Depp. Looks like he's conquered his demons in the wet conditions. I remember earlier in the season he was really struggling in the wet, and he always seemed to dominate the races in the dry, but now he's definitely got over that. As Milden's still sat in the pits, he clearly thinks he's done enough with 30 seconds left on the clock. Drivers will be able to start a lap in the next 30 seconds, but once that timer hits the 0, we will have to, everybody will be able to finish their laps, but they won't be able to start any more flying laps, so everybody needs to get on it as soon as they can and get themselves on a flying lap. Oh no, 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 no.
We'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go through the wastelands,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Apologies for that. My cat was just making a bit of a funny noise there in the background there, but we are going just down the back straight here at Paul Ricard. We're about to go racing here for Tier 2 of the GT3s here on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Looks like Tom put himself on pole there right at the end of the session. We missed that due to some what were definitely technical difficulties and not an error by the streamer. Yeah, it looks like he's done a great job there getting himself on top spot. Completely missed that. The Ferrari number 2 is leading us around for the formation lap. This is going to be incredibly exciting to see how this one pans out. Milden and Mario Depp behind him, CK1 pretty close, and we've still got the promotion fight to move up to Tier 1 on the very much all to play for here, guys, so it should be exciting.
Yeah, we always expect that there's always going to be some fighting on track, and 9 times out of 10 with the Tier 2s there always is some kind of fight going on. But you know, these guys right now, they do. I believe they go into this final round. They do not want to be fighting with each other. All they want to do is get ahead of everybody else. Don't fight. And just try and get as much space as you know, your competitors that you're fighting for those spots for.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you want to definitely focus on the guys who are around you in the championship and make sure that you're getting those points. But it looks like I don't know, the pack just kind of constantly up a little bit now as we're coming towards the tail end of this lap. They're going to go in double file very, very shortly as we get ready to go green light. Tom is leading us around the final few corners here. And this is the final race of the season for the Tier 2s. Obviously Tier 1's still got one more round to go after this at Misano, but this is where it all gets decided for these boys as they are now coming up towards the line. When Tom puts his foot to the floor, we will be green, green, green and underway. Milden's going to try and get a good run as we come over the line now, and it's green, 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 lights out and away we go. And Tom gets away well. Milden is already having to try and defend from Mario Depp, who got a very strong start, and Mario's up into second place, so he's out dragged him coming up towards turn 1. Is he going to be able to hold that on the inside of Milden? No, I think Milden's actually going to hold it around the outside. Milden is continuing to MP2. Oh, Mario's wide. Yeah, Mario's really wide out onto the runoff area. He's way down to the mid pack, I think, in this race, but Milden currently chasing Tom around, and it looks like we've got CK1 in third with Illusions and Greenwood very, very close on the track as well. Illusions actually managing to hold on ahead of in fact, no, hold on. Sergey's got ahead of Greenwood. Sorry, Sergey's done a great job there, getting himself up into 4th place. So a strong start there from Sergey Zainalov, one of the contenders for the promotion spots here. But it's Tom leading away ahead of Milden. Illusions 3rd, CK1, Sergey, Greenwood, Rekos in 7th. We've got Leon Seeley running in 8th place at the moment. The Wall W in 10th. Mario Depp down to 11th place after that very, very dodgy start there. We've got a pink McLaren of W just there in front of Mario Depp. Alex Lilyar in 12th. DeedeeTKU, an AmazingPieBoy, not the best of first laps for him, down in 14th place. But coming up down towards the end of the back straight now, and Tom's already pulled out a second of a gap here over Milden. So Tom looks to have quite a strong bit of pace here in the dry conditions, or a drying track to say the least.
Well, I'm looking at the forecast at the top right of my screen right now, and it looks like it's going to start raining again in as little as 3 minutes.
Yeah, it is. We are expecting some more rain. It says on the forecast, not the forecast, but the telemetry, it's saying that the track is still damp. To me, it doesn't look like a damp track. There's no water to spray. Oh my goodness, there's the rain.
The rain just came in.
Yeah, it looks like it is now tipping it down.
Hold on. Something fishy is going on here. Somebody's using either CK1 or Illusions is using the Ferrari Evo. CK1's off.
Oh, CK1 spun it, and it looks like he's been passed there by Rekos, Leon Seeley, and the Wall is going to try and get up the inside as well. So the wall's just behind him. Sorry, excuse me. But Leon Seeley's up ahead of him. It looks like now the Wall's dropped back a little bit, and Mario Depp's got ahead of CK1. No, sorry, he's filtered in. Yeah, it's just behind him actually, just behind him. So.
This is. I'm sorry to keep on going on about it, but that's not right.
What's that? CK1?
So either CK1 or Illusions is using the Ferrari Evo, because they're both. I'm looking at both the Ferraris here, and the front ends are different from one of each other.
Let's take a quick look at the Illusions as he's coming round here. Well, you see, he's sat in 3rd at the moment. Is Illusions? I think. I know that looks like a 488 to me.
Yeah, that's the 488 normal one. But then if you look at, if you go into CK1, his front end is completely different. There's the one that the Ferrari that Illusions is driving does not have the head, the flashes on the bottom.
Yeah, that is a bit strange. Yeah, for sure. CK1 has got W right up his chuff here in this fight for 9th place. 2/10, 1/10 now separating them is W. Going to be able to go for a move here, coming towards the end of this long straight. He's gone around the outside there, and he's up into 9th place. Clearly that Ferrari Evo struggling at the moment. Oh no, hang on. You know, he has held on actually ahead of W. I thought W had made the move around the outside, but so he's taking that straight back.
Who's
that, Tom? Oh no, Thomas in the pits. What's happened here?
Wow.
He spun it coming off of that faster right-hander, so he did.
Why is he pitted? What's he doing?
Did he retire?
No, I think he started on the drives.
Yeah, actually, he must have done. Yeah, but he's going to lose a couple of laps here. He's going to have to sit in the pits for 2 minutes, and he's only going to start on the lap that he was on. So he's going to be 2 or 3 laps down by the time he gets going again. Milden, though, inherits the lead of the race. Illusions into 2nd place. There's Sergey running in a brilliant podium spot and looking good for a promotion spot into Tier 1 if he can continue driving the way he is at the moment. Greenwood there sat in 4th with Leon Celia 2nd off at the back of him, and Leon's got Mario Depp looking to the inside. Mario trying to recover positions in the early stages of this race. He's made the move into Turn 1. He's got the position. Mario Depp up into 5th place and continuing to make progress through the pack.
It looks like there's, I believe that's Sergey. Yeah, he's getting very close to the back end of Illusions now.
Yeah, he is. It's currently Milden who's trying to break away from these two, but now Illusions is going to have that Lamborghini looming large in his mirrors pretty surely, one would imagine. Greenwood running just ahead of Mario's Leon, and CK1 now joining this party. CK1, though, we believe, driving a car that isn't supposed to be here. I don't know exactly what the situation is with this, but it's something definitely a bit sus. Yeah, well, it's definitely no. I'm sure that I'm pretty sure that Illusions is driving the 488. It just looks like a typical.
The 488. It's just one's the evil, one's not.
Yeah, but the Illusions looks like he's driving the typical Ferrari that you see in the GT3s on here on ACC. It looks much more typical, whereas the one that CK1's driving, I don't know, it just looks different, doesn't it? Maybe it's just the design on the front. I don't know.
Because I believe that the front grille does extend on the one that Illusions is driving. It does not extend down to the lights, but I believe the one that CK1 is driving does extend down to the lights. But I'm not. Obviously, it's quite hard to tell when they're moving. But
conspiracy theories at Motive Racing.
Post in the grill. CK1 doesn't have that on his car.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could be a point of contention once we get into the post-race. Hopefully there is no foul play occurring with these car choices, but CK1 still on the back of Mario. Mario has made that move and has made his way back through the pack. Mario and CK1 both getting ahead of Leon Seeley, and Greenwood continuing to fend off Mario Depp very nicely at the moment. No way through for Mario in this fight for 4th place. Sergey's dropped off the back of Illusions a little bit in the battle for 2nd, as we see CK1 going a little bit deep into that corner. Yeah, that may invite Leon Seeley to go around the outside. It has, and Leon Seeley's up into 6th place.
Oh, we got contact.
Oh, where from?
One of the pink Porsches, and I believe it was CK1.
That's not a pink Porsche, that's a McLaren.
Oh no, the McLaren. Okay.
Yeah. The police CK1 went a little bit deep again, and Records has just went round around the outside of CK1 doing a staffing on CK1 and went off track to do the overtake. So he did. It looks like we have lost Thomas. He has literally left the session.
That's a real shame there for Tom. He obviously set that pole position lap at the dying embers of the qualifying session, but started on the wrong tyres. He put the dries on in anticipation of the track drying out, and as soon as the rain came down, he would have been ruining that decision pretty much instantly. But he took a gamble, it didn't pay off. You win some and you lose some in racing, I guess, chaps.
Yeah, you do. Sometimes, you know, yeah, you can do fantastically throughout the season. You know, get result after result. Then when it comes to the final, sometimes it just doesn't go your way. Unfortunately, you can't plan for everything.
Yeah, and obviously Tom came into this championship midway through the season. He's not in the fight for the title. He's not in the hunt for the promotion spots. He's come into this with nothing to lose. So you can't really blame him for taking that chance. It just hasn't worked out on this occasion. But he'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back next season.
That's what it was. He's actually put a comment into the chat saying I bounced off the turn and the tyre popped.
No way.
Oh.
Well, that explains that one anyway. That's why he's retired from the race, and unfortunately will be not taking any further part in this one. You've got Alex Nilyart currently closing up onto the back of Leon. Leon Seeley's going backwards here in this race. I wonder if he's on the dries, trying to hang out. Leon might be on the dry tyres, hoping that the track's going to dry out at some point in this race. But it really is a gamble, and we've seen it all go horribly wrong for Tom. But Leon sticking with it, and again, I could be wrong here. He could oh, Greenwood's had a moment. Yeah, Greenwood. He had Mario Depp all over the back of him for a number of laps, and it looks like Mario's got his way past, and Greenwood has had a moment. Hopefully, there wasn't an incident between those two, but Greenwood has now got the Alex, yeah, looking all over the back of him. There's the wall in the background there, doing a great job in the Gallardo. We've got DDTKU and AmazingPieBoy fighting over 12th place as well, so this could get tasty between the Porsche and the Bentley at the back of the field. And it never fails to amaze me just how ginormous that Bentley is. Yeah. I mean, it's like a beast. It's literally like watching. It's like watching. It's like watching Hagrid walking amongst the students of Hogwarts. It's honestly unbelievable.
Leon Seeley spun.
Leon Seeley spun. Oh no, Leon Seeley again. Maybe adding a bit of.
51, not 15. No, one. Hold on, no, that was 159. That was Mario. He had a little bit of a moment there as well.
Mario having a moment also, yeah, but this is just sort of confirming to me my suspicions that Leon Seeley is driving on the slicks, or maybe, I don't know, he does seem to be keeping up with
CK1 spun again.
CK1 spun it, oh my goodness me, everybody's losing the car at the moment. Track conditions are really getting a little bit treacherous, as we can see Mario Depp's been passed by W, so Mario's falling back a little bit over the course of that lap with that little skirmish that you mentioned there, Iain. W up into 4th place. He's just picking up the pieces in that pink McLaren, isn't he? He really is making some very formidable gains here in this race.
Yeah, the McLaren, it definitely seems to be a middle post for Paul Corsa. It's not the most aggressive car, but it's not.
Illusions! Oh, be careful, Illusions! He looks like he does really well there to get his car out of the way and not interfere with the drivers as they came through. Looks like like a W and Mario Depp both get through without any harm done, and Rekos is going to be putting up onto the back of him pretty shortly. Yep, there he is, just in the background there of your pictures. In fact, actually, he's come out. Oh no, what's happened there? What's happened there? Somebody went off in the foreground. Was that CK? No, CK1 went off. CK1 went off, and he's now in the pits. Or was it Illusions? Yeah, it was Illusions. You're bang on there, Iain. Both the Ferraris. And what is going on with the Ferraris? Oh my god, I don't know where to look at the moment. There's drama going off left, right, and centre, and the Ferraris have had a mare.
I'm just looking at a comment from Dr. Benji. Has Mazepin cloned himself and is driving all these cars? I think at this point it might as well be.
I think so, yeah, definitely. We've got some multiple Mazepins here. It looks like Mazepin's taken Polyjuice Potion tonight. Or no, somebody's taken, multiple people have taken strands out of Mazepin's hair and put it into some Polyjuice Potion.
One man I've not really spoke about today at all is Malden. He's just driving off it, so he's doing fantastically tonight.
He is. He's riding off into the sunset with this race, and he's currently got 6.5 seconds back to Sergey. Sergey's doing a really good job, as is W. These two, Sergey and W, have just pretty much been keeping it clean, haven't they? Exactly, yeah. They've been making the most of everybody else having mishaps and just continuing doing what they're doing. And W's just a couple of seconds in front of Mario Depp right now. Greenwood's got ahead of Alex, up into 6th. Alex losing out of their position. He's now got the wall not too far behind him, only a second and a half. But Sergey, W, Mario now closing up onto the back of these two a little bit. Mario's very, very close to the podium spots, and he's got the speed on W, but Mario's been making too many mistakes over the course of this race, and then more mistakes, and it's going to be, it cost him, I think he made a little bit of an error there. He almost spun round, didn't he? Very close there to losing the car, and he's kept it going, but he's dropped off the back of W quite considerably. W is staying consistent, and if Mario keeps making mistakes like that, it's definitely going to give W a really good shot at a podium in this race. But we're not even halfway through this tier 2 race yet, ladies and gentlemen, and still plenty can happen from here until the end of the race, that is for sure.
Yeah, well, like I said at the beginning, well, we always get a fantastic show from everybody here at Tier 2, regardless of the weather or the track. And right now, we're seeing that. We've got 3 people all grouped up, number 54, 140, and number 25. So that's the Wall, Alex, and Greenwood all in a small, but kind of a little bit strung out group. Oh, Mario's went way well off.
Oh no!
Wow.
Mario.
Really struggling now in the wet.
Yeah, and again, I've seen this before. Mario, for some reason, just he struggles a little bit in the wet compared to the dry conditions. And earlier in the season, he had some dominant wins. I remember at Zandvoort, and there was also another win at I think it was, I can't remember now. But it was earlier in the season. He had wins at Zandvoort, he had wins at Spa, but then Hungary and Brands Hatch, the 2 wet races, he was all over the place. And it was either side of those 2 magnificent wins at Zandvoort and Spa. He had horror shows at Hungary and Brands Hatch in the wet conditions. And once again, it looks like his inconsistency really plaguing our championship leader and champion to be. He's already secured the championship as Mario Depp. He's already got this one signed and sealed, but he wanted to go out with a strong result to cap off what has been a phenomenal season for him. But this is not the way to do it, and at the moment he's off the podium and doesn't look like he's going to get onto it anytime soon.
No, not the way that he's going right now. He keeps on pushing that car beyond its limits, and he keeps on sliding that car. His tires are just going to wear down even more than what normally would, and that's just not going to help his case if he's already struggling the way that he is.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. We've got some interesting comments here right now. We're using Mark Rave's hair and we're all tied, says JR Sim Racing. Dr. Benji says, going to put a Wingardium Leviosa charm on Kurt for the Tier 1 race. Well, we'll have to see about that, Dr. Benji. Will, you know, if he's lifting over the barriers, then we'll all know what's going on there. We'll know that there's been some foul play in regards to that. SimRaceTrain saying, is that what you were practicing when you were side-by-side in practice races? I don't know.
That was in reference to Dr. Benji's message, I believe.
Ah, I did actually see that, yeah. There was a Dr. Benji made a brilliant move up the inside of Kurt Hodgson into the final turn at Paul Ricard, and then got brutally assaulted after the finish line by Kurt. I don't know what was going on there. It seemed like some kind of agenda between the two of them.
Yeah, that was inappropriate workplace touching right there, and Mario has spun it once again.
Oh no, Mario's all over the gaff once again. Has he lost out to Rekos? I don't think he has. He's far enough ahead.
Got a comfortable gap. But talking about those, Greenwood is actually catching up onto the back of Rekos right now.
Yeah, 100% he is reeling him in at a rate of knots as these two coming over the line now to complete lap 8 of the race. There's Rekos. Greenwood though lost a bit of time in that final sector. 0.7 of a second was what Rekos gained on him through the last part of the track there. Alex Lilliard only 2 seconds behind these two, but he's dropped off of them since being overtaken. Alex has got a reasonable gap back to the wall. Leon continuing to fall backwards here in this race, but I can't imagine he's on the slicks because he would be falling back by more than that if he was on dry tyres. I think it's just been a difficult race for Leon. He's clearly got a setup that just isn't working for that Porsche around Paul Ricard. He's got 9 seconds back to AmazingPieBoy though, so he's okay for that in that 9th position. But yeah, it's not been the race that Leon Seeley would have ideally imagined when he went to sleep last night, that is for sure. Milden, though, leading this race by 9.6 seconds ahead of Sergey, who in turn has got 8.7 seconds back to W, and W looking pretty secure in that final podium spot, as long as he doesn't make any more mistakes. But he's, in fact, I say any more mistakes, he hasn't made a single mistake. He's not put a foot wrong.
Looks like he got a little bit slidey there going around that corner, but apart from that, he's doing fantastically. He's doing the McLaren very well right now.
Yeah, he is very much doing the McLarens proud here in the Tier 2s. The hot pink livery made famous by Kurt Hodgson and his Pink Panther team. Obviously, the team principal, Motoring Morgan. We've got some very notable drivers. Kurt, obviously one of them. The only GNR SimRaceTrain, I've also heard, is one of their new drivers for the Pink Panthers. Or not new, I think it's been in the pipeline for some time, but recently confirmed. SimRaceTrain part of the Pink Panthers team, so that's going to be very exciting. SimRaceTrain also popping up in the YouTube comments section. Interesting to see that he has joined the Pink Panthers. Absolutely brave. That's yeah, juicy. But the wall closing in on Alex a little bit. Look at this, 1.2 seconds separating 7th and 8th places now.
Getting that gear to work really well in the rain.
Yeah, he is.
He is really wringing the neck of that thing. Although he's dropped off a little bit in that final sector. Alex did pull out a bit of a gap. Yeah, he wasn't he? Dancing around a little bit. And Alex has got a reasonably comfortable cushion to him at this point. Milden continuing to pull away at the front ahead of Sergey. Now over 10 seconds between first and second places. And Mario not really making any gains on W at the moment for that final podium spot. But even if he was, he's 11 seconds behind. It's going to be a long way back from here, that is for sure. Greenwood now dropping off the back of RaKiMaJe. Alex is continuing to drop off the back of Greenwood. It looks like in the mid-pack it's pretty set at the moment. These guys all kind of in the right positions, and no one's really gaining on the car ahead at this point.
No, not really. The only time that you could really kind of get any kind of advantage is on this part of the track, depending on what downforce you have in the car. So that is, and what kind of run you get coming out the corner that sets you up for the straight. But it looks like that car has a little bit more grunt coming up that straight compared to the fourth.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Definitely got a little bit more straight line speed. But at the moment he's still hanging on in front of him. Looks like CK1 is pulled up onto the... Oh no, hold on, deedeeTKU's in the pits. Oh, what's happened to deedeeTKU?
Oh, I didn't see anything there.
Oh no, I didn't actually catch what happened there, but he's clearly had to call it a day. Yeah, maybe that could be right, the Greek, but unfortunately with the Tier 2 having no mandatory pit stop, it's only going to cost him time coming into the pits for an impromptu pit stop. Yeah, tyre change. Yeah, I wonder what he started on then. I mean, he can't be changing for the dries because we're expecting some torrential rain in 10 minutes. Having said that, the race will be over in 10 minutes. But yeah, it's definitely not going to be a change to the slicks. Maybe he was on some very worn out wet tyres. Who knows what direction he's gone with the tyre strategy here. But looks like Mario Depp having some problems here, guys. He's falling back into the clutch of the RaKiMaJe now within 2 seconds of him.
Oh yeah. Maybe the TV spins and slides that he's had just caused his tyres to go off a lot more at a higher pace than the rest, and that's just allowing RaKiMaJe just to push that little bit harder and give him the respite that Mario doesn't have in terms of grip right now, because as you can see, that front end of that Lamborghini is not looking pretty. It's smacked, it's all chipped and everything, whereas the McLaren of RaKiMaJe is still going strong.
Yeah, it's very feasible that just a healthier McLaren there chasing down the Lamborghini is definitely getting the best of these wet conditions, and Mario's only going backwards at the moment. He's now nearly 20 seconds behind W. So Mario's just, it's just all going downhill for our driver in the Lamborghini. He's the champion-elect here for these Tier 2s. He will be in Tier 1 next season, but it's not the sign-off that he would have hoped for coming into this final race, that is for sure. Rekos is reeling them in, and Greenwood 4.5 seconds behind. It looks like Alex has now got the wall closing back up onto the rear end of him again, as he has been for a while.
I've just realised we've lost Illusions has actually left the session as well.
Oh yeah, Illusions is out of the race. In that Ferrari, we saw him putting into the pits a few laps ago, and he's had to call it a day, as we see the lap car there of deedeeTKU getting well out of the way for these guys to come through. But the wall now hassling the back of Alex Lilliard as they come down the pit straight to start lap 12 in towards turn 1. The wall's going to be looking to try and capitalise on any little errors here from Alex Lilliard.
Oh, he made a mistake.
If he puts a foot wrong, you can bet that the wall will be onto it like a flash.
Look how mean that the front end of that Gardle look. I'm not the biggest fan of the way that the Gardle looks in its general street look, but it does look mean as anything in the GT3 configuration.
Yeah, it does absolutely. It looks like Alex still managing to hold the wall off, and I'll deedeeTKU in the background. That's alright. It's not for position, but these two, Alex and the wall, are so close now. The wall looks like he's got the run here coming down the back straight. Look at the closing speed there. The Lamborghini getting such a run coming up this stretch, and it's breezed past the Porsche coming up towards this right-hander at the end of the straight. And look at that, he's comfortably got the position way before the corner, and the wall's up into 7th place.
I'm just looking at a comment there from Junior SimRacing, as we now have to call, because that's how we all say that's his name. But it just says that Lamborghini should be in matte black, and I 100% agree with that. That would look amazing in a matte black paint.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, Alex Lilliard gets really out of shape. Oh, he just brings it back under control as deedeeTKU looked like he was about to unlap himself for a moment there, but
somebody spun it, and at the second corner, I can't see the number. I think it's Mario.
Oh no, Mario's made another mistake.
That's allowed Greenwood and Rekos up to 4th and 5th respectively. This is definitely not the race that Mario was dreaming of having today. He wanted to come in here and finish the Tier 2s out with a bang, and unfortunately it's just not been his race tonight. Absolutely,
his aspirations going into this race, his expectations have certainly been dashed. That is for certainly sure, and it's not going to have. Those expectations have not been exceeded. They've not even been succeeded. But nonetheless, it will definitely be an opportunity for the wall to get up into 6th.
The one I want to talk about is Melden. He's now managed to gain a 15-second gap.
Yes, indeed, he has. Melden is doing absolute bits at the front of this pack, and just leaving them all behind. Melden, we haven't really spoken about him at all, have we, guys? But he's just been
put on cruise control. He's rolled up into the sensor.
Yep, pretty much. He has, and he's just put on the autopilot, sat back, and just let it do the work. Let the BMW do the work. Yep, exactly. He's just been nursing the car through the corners, and what an absolutely phenomenal job from Melden in his first race here in the GT3's last race of the season. He'll definitely be a contender for the Tier 2s next season. I'm sure he'll be at the sharp end looking to pick up race wins and get a promotion into Tier 1 for the season after next. 17 seconds he's got of a lead over Sergey. Sergey, to be fair, has stuck with it and hasn't given up, has he? He's continued to keep that gap back to W, but neither of these two on the same level as Melden tonight. W doing an amazing feat, currently sat in that final podium spot. He had Mario giving him a headache for a little while, but Mario's dropped off.
Mario spun it again.
As he spun it again, Mario. The wall is into 6th in the What is it, the Gallardo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. How on earth is he sixth in that? My goodness me. The wall.
That's considered to be that's I don't even know what to try and compensate that for. I really do not know. But right now he's taking the underdog car and he's taking it all the way up to 6th place, and he's doing fantastic right now.
Yeah, 100%. And he's got a 5.5 second gap back to Mario. Mario's now got Alex all over the back of him. Is Mario? In fact, no, hold on. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't.
He has a back marker.
He has a back marker all over the back of him. That's deedeeTKU. But Alex is right behind the back marker of deedeeTKU. So there's only a couple of seconds between Mario and Alex. And if Mario makes another mistake, oh, Leon's spun it. Yeah, you're right, Ian. But if Mario makes another mistake, yeah, MeltedDazzer is really giving him a little bit of hassle here for this 9th place. But if Mario makes another mistake, then Alex is going to be there, Johnny on the spot, ready to take that P7. You can bet on that for sure. Oh, yeah. AmazingPieBoy though, within half a second of Leon Seeley. He's having a little look as Leon goes really wide there, coming out onto this long stretch. And you see there, he's got the slipstream, he's got the run. He's now going to try and maximise that toe. He's going to use that the reduction of air resistance here and try and get around him if he can. But I think that Leon has got just better straight line speed in the Porsche. The Porsche is out dragging the Bentley. How the hell is that happening?
I really do not know, because we all know exactly how powerful that Bentley can be. It is honestly a monster in terms of how incredibly big that is.
Well,
believe it or not,
if you look at the two of them, then it makes no sense how the Porsche is out tracking it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it.
Believe it or not, the older model that you used before the Bentley that MeltedDazzer is driving in right now is actually even bigger than the Bentley that he's currently driving.
Indeed.
This is the final lap.
Yes, we are. As Milden's just coming through.
Greenwood got through.
Oh wait,
no.
Greenwood's into 4th place. Oh, well spotted there, the Greeks. So the RaKiMaJe getting a little bit out of shape there. We missed it on the street. But the Greek just telling us there that he got a little bit loose, and that has given the position to Greenwood. Greenwood seizing on that, and Greenwood's been perseverant in this race, that is for sure. He's been patient, he's kept going, and he's going to get 4th place as a reward. But Milden coming through the final few quarters here at Paul Ricard. It's been a masterclass in the wet here for Milden. What a superb drive it's been. He was up the front in the qualifying session, qualified on the front row alongside Tom. And since the start has not looked back, got an early lead after Tom's retirement, and a flash of lights from Milden as he comes over the line to take the victory. He takes the checkered flag here, and just no superlatives can even describe what an amazing drive that was. He was in a class of his own tonight with Milden. Sergey's going to come into the last corner now, and it's going to be a 2nd place in the Lamborghini for Sergey, and a promotion spot as well. Sergey will be driving in Tier 1 next season for the ACC GT3s here at Motive Racing. Really well done to him. W taking a extremely impressive podium in the McLaren.
As he puts that to the wall.
As Greenwood looks like
over yet. RaKiMaJe is all over the back of Greenwood.
Yeah.
He's trying to get that position back. He's not going to go down without a fight, that is for sure. But I think Greenwood's going to have this one done. Is RaKiMaJe? Oh, he's
on the brakes.
Yeah, that's up.
He's just gone full send it, hasn't he? And it hasn't worked out for RaKiMaJe. Greenwood coming out of the final corner to take a 4th place here in the Audi. It's going to be RaKiMaJe crossing the line to finish 5th in the McLaren. The wall a long way behind these guys, currently sat in 6th, but obviously picked up the position on Mario at the end. And AmazingPieBoy's moved on. Alex has made a mistake. What's happened to Alex at the end? Alex is down at 11th place. The wall finishes in 6th place. Mario 7th. AmazingPieBoy is going to come around to finish in 8th ahead of Leon Seeley. CK1 will complete the top 10, a non-event for him, but he will still be in Tier 1 next season due to being in the top 5 promotion spots. But Alex had the opportunity to take a 7th there at the end on Mario. Looks like he's blown it, and it's going to be 11th here for Alex in the end. So unfortunate that he's lost out in the final stages of that race.
You really hate to see that, you really do, and it's especially when you do so well at the beginning of the race, and you just try to hold as many places as you can, and it's just this comes to no avail, and you just end up losing at the end. It's just coming down the final straight now to claim 10th place.
Yeah, there he goes across the line. Great driving there from Ben Milden, taking the win tonight in this race. 20 seconds ahead of Sergey in the end. W completing the podium. But that is that then for the tier 2s here for the GT3s on ACC here at Motive Racing. Guys, if you like what you see, then drop a like on the video and don't go anywhere. Subscribe to the channel because we're going to be live very shortly for the main event of the evening. Tier 1 will be on in a few moments time. Obviously it was the final race for these tier 2s, but only the penultimate round for the tier 1, so still plenty of action still to be had and lots of positions and you know, stuff to be decided. So absolutely, so definitely stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 10 minutes time.
The separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel, who have dreams, that want to do things. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. There's no easy way around it. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail you if you're not skilled. You know, if you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day. Make a choice. Like, you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. I'm motivated by fear.
Has managed to keep it just ahead of DJPhilgreen at the moment as we're side by side here coming down the pit straight. Is Camber going to make this 3 wide coming towards turn 1? You could see there DJPhilgreen just trying to squeeze Emo Guy towards the right, giving him the middle of that space with 3 wide coming into turn 1. Camber very sensibly backs out of that one as Emo Guy manages to hold his position on the inside line and just about squeeze his way into the position there and maintains 8th place ahead of DJPhilgreen. Here we go, and it looks like we're lights out here at Brands Hatch, and it's a good start there from pole from DeedeeTKU. And it looks like we've already got Fury coming down the middle here, going towards Paddock Hill. DeedeeTKU trying to fend off Sebastopano as he comes onto the brakes. It looks like he has held onto the lead just about, but Serge is hassling him as he comes through Druids, and we see there Fury's managed to get that position on Oakbar into Druids. Sebastopano very late on the brakes there. It looks like DeedeeTKU's been pushed out a little bit, so Sebastopano's up into the lead. It looks like Fury having a look on DeedeeTKU, but DeedeeTKU managed to hold on to that P2 just appears when DeedeeTKU emerges from the pit lane. We know that a pit stop is around 25 seconds, and he's going to be very close with Rompu as he comes to the end of the pit lane now. Rompu drives around the outside of Paddock Hill and up into 3rd place, so that would have not been what DeedeeTKU wanted at all. Second separating these boys. Thorsten did have a lead of about 3 or 4 seconds. He was pulling away to Egan Milk for a few laps, and now he pulls out to the left hand side. Zegan Milk has to leave the door open. We're going to go side by side here down the pit straight. Is Thorsten going to go for the move into the first corner? It looks like he does. He's up the inside, so Thorsten Borchardt getting that position side by side here down the pit straight. Officer Style now has an opportunity to take this P2 position. We're side by side coming out towards turn 1. Officer Style goes later on the brakes up the inside. Elliot tries to undercut him on the exit. Still side by side, incredible stuff. Can Elliot hold it around the outside here, or is Officer Style going to complete the move? It looks like Elliot somehow managing to hold on to that position. To go for the move. Both of these guys within about 2/10 of the car in front, as we see DeHuisRocker closing speed coming onto the brakes. So he looks like he's making the move on the inside here of Bunny Prevention, but he can't quite get it done at the moment. DeHuis goes a little bit wide there on the exit, and it looks like he almost spins it. Very close there to losing the car. HRT Zeus is up into 2nd place, but DeHuisRocker was pushing a little bit too hard there in his quest to try and get ahead of Bunny Prevention. Bunny Prevention's holding on to the lead. Got DJPhilgreen lining Ratchet ass up here, but he can't quite make it stick at the moment by the looks of it. And Unorthodox has got a fantastic run on both of these guys, but Unorthodox, you just saw, had to get out of it a little bit there because he had a great run. It was going to most likely end up in him driving himself into trouble. And we can see RaKiMaJe going straight on there over the chicane. Unorthodox driving around the outside there of deedeeTKU and up into 5th place. And he's all unorthodox is going to try and get RaKiMaJe as well. He has indeed. That is brilliant stuff from Unorthodox in every way that he can. John Boy very much on the back of these guys now as they come down the pit straight. Oh, we can see there, it looks like DeHuisRocker getting a bit loose there onto the grass, and now Little Leach is going to fancy his chances around the outside, and with 3 wide here coming out of the pit straight. John Boy trying to get involved in this action as well. In the end, I think surely Nickthevilla is going to back out. Yes, he does, but John Boy making a double overtake there coming into turn 1, and he's up into 6th place. What a move there from
pushing, you can tell he's pushing. Look at the way he's driving the car. He's making sure it's got nothing left to give. He's absolutely ragging it round Ultrapod. He's got alongside Xmar as they headed towards the island bend. Gary will have the inside line, and Xmar's wide, and he's off. Can he keep it out the tyre wall? Indeed he does. In fact, he's through, coming through the little chicane section there. And already going down the back straight, he's going to try and gain on the leaders as he's back up into P3. What can DeHuisRocker do? Well, that's RWI Racing. Comes back at Zeus, and they've made contact. And somehow Zeus and RWI have stopped it from going fully round. But DeHuisRocker and Klaus Martini had to take avoiding action there. And that's DeHuisRocker just leaning on RWI Racing, which will allow Klaus Martini up the inside. In fact, Klaus Martini's kind of forced RWI Racing wide there as well. In the background of this, Bod's looking for a piece of the action, but can't find a way through past WI Racing then. G right on the back of John Boy. John Boy defending really well at the moment. This for the lead here. Can G take back-to-back wins on this Tuesday night? He's got the cut back on John Boy. That is textbook. Shoulders had a bit of a slide there, and that's allowed Motoring Morgan through. Maybe he will allow Little Leach in the background. But G, textbook there. He's reached in the glove compartment. He's pulled out the textbook. I'm going for this move, he says, and he's done it well. He's had an absolute peaceful explosion down there as well. Richie's managed to get back up into P14, but G not having the greatest of starts here. Big Boy Bracing in a world of his own, and we've seen this so many times on a Wednesday night. Gary, I think, got forced wide by Sutty, who tried to lunge on Fury, and it didn't come off. Is this Emo guy trying to go around the outside of Sutty Apex, and Gary's going to look to sneak one up the inside, and Emo guy just comes back across. Gary gives him the room, and Gary's sliding up the inside and gets that job done, but now he's got orthodubs all over the back of him. And for Motive Racing, they're teaming up on Gary here, and Gary needs to get in front of these guys and get away and get closer to Sutty, and you see him breaking late, very wide from Gary. Oh, is that Little Leach? Oh, it is. Look at this. Morgan now having a look up the inside of Gary. Little Leach is there. Morgan and Gary side by side down the start straight. Little Leach is going to make this 3 wide as they come down the start straight. And he's on the outside of Gary and Motoring Morgan. And this could be disaster going into turn 1. 3-1 does not work. But Little Leach around the outside of Gary. Gary sticks it there on the undercut and has got it done. And Little Leach around the outside has done both of them. Cracking driving from Little Leach. Gary's keeping it pinned.
But he's now got Oakbar in front of him. Is he going to try and make a move on the exit of Curva Grande coming up towards second chicane? Oakbar tries to go defensive, but Civic's got the inside. It looks like Oakbar breaks a little bit later. Has he overshot the corner though? He almost did. It's a compromise for the second part of the corner, but Oakbar just about keeps onto the position by the skin of his teeth. Civic there in the end, not getting the run out of the corner. He would have been contact. Arnold Thubso has got a good run there coming up into Lesmo 1. He's got the inside and he's got the move done there on RaKiMaJe. Dan upper position. Brilliant driving there. Looks like he's got Shrimper and Ads right behind him here. Shrimper and Ads going side by side here, coming through the Parabola. You can see these guys on the exit of the corner. Ads is going to have to slipstream with Mr. O a little bit, but Shrimper looks like he's got the superior straight line speed. Although maybe Ads now just picking up that toe from the car in front. Mr. O giving the toe to Shrimper also. Side by side still coming up towards the first chicane. Is Ads going to have that move around the outside? It looks like Shrimper in the end concedes that position. Ads is up into 11th place there. Good move there. Oh, Ads goes a bit deep into the first chicane though. He goes wide and that's giving the place back to Shrimper. So Shrimper there maintaining P10 in that little exchange there. Come down the pit straight here to complete lap 6 of the race. Maz making a look move to the inside, coming towards the first chicane. Shrimper leaves him in the space on the inside, and it looks like Maz is going to have the move done there on the brakes. He is indeed. He's up into 8th place, sorry 7th, trying to defend. It looks like he's actually been passed by Cinderella Tour. And is he going to find himself open to an attack here from Flaky? Flaky around the outside of Fury. Looks like Flaky's made it stick and he's up the inside for turn 2. Great stuff there from Flaky.
If I was Flaky, I'd be thinking about my championship. I wouldn't be fighting Zande.
Oh, it looks like Flaky's got all that sorts of out of shape now, and G looking to the outside, coming up towards the chicane. He's going to have to get it round the long way though. Flaky's giving him the space on the inside. Flaky late on the brakes, and he's also put it back up the inside, and Flaky somehow just clinging onto that second place by the skin of his teeth, but Zande now has crucially got a 1.3 second gap. Zande with a penalty from the race director, but if it's only 1 second, he might be alright. Oh, we see G running into the back of Zande, Flaky a little bit, and Flaky still managing to hold G off. Oh no, Disco, Gracie, Stu, and DeHuisRocker up into first and second, but DeHuisRocker has gained so much time on these guys. He was a couple of seconds back off of the 2 leaders, about a lap of goal go, so I don't know.
Disco Stu's wide.
Oh, he's in there. That was magnificent right there. I think that in the end, DeHuisRocker had to stand the brakes on to avoid totally taking Disco Racing Stu out there, but now Unorthodox is right on the back of them once again.
This pressure, you want to get through as quick as possible to maybe get away here, and he looks like he's got a good run out the final corner, but so is DeedeeTKU here, who's P3 and sat on the back. Little Leach is trying to defend in the background, you saw there, but Fury's going to try the longer way around and isn't going to make that one work. Charlie Goff manages to hold on at the moment. Fury, though, having to defend and attack at the same time. MeltedDazzer's having a look up the inside of DeedeeTKU, and Fury's got the move done on Charlie Goff, and Traga round the outside of Charlie Goff. He's made that work, an absolute cracking move from them. MeltedDazzer's also passed Charlie Goff. Then Morgan up into second place. Yeah, great move from him. Andy was all out of shape coming on the exit to turn 1, but Andy's fighting back here. Look at him go. He's going to try and go around the outside of Motoring Morgan. Come up to the dreaded turn 4. Is he going to brave it out around the outside? Indeed he does. He's going to line himself up beautifully for the inside line. Good move from Andy to get the position back. So it's G from
He's gone for the cut back here.
He has. He's gone for it and it's worked. It's pulled off an absolute treat, and G leads this race once more here from Andy. Motoring Morgan's gained on him. In fact, Andy has not backed out. This Little Leach has just come into the pits, so we'll see where he comes out ahead of Luti or MeltedDazzer. Andy's not going this one up, but G's going to do him like he did Motoring Morgan, and Andy was all sideways there, coming through turn 4, and he's still side by side with G. He's still not giving this one up. This is great racing. Here's Morgan up the inside of Andy, and this could be for P2, right on the back of G. Morgan's been brought into play. A treat here. Andy will have the inside and defends that one off from Morgan.
BT really on the back of Swiftmaster now, seems to be enjoying these conditions a little bit better than Swiftmaster, but wow, that really must be affecting these drivers right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We're reveling in these conditions. He'll be fancying second place finish here in this race, and the CB wants to get a little bit wide there on the exit of 130 up. It's BT's not going to fancy each other. Everyone's getting all sorts out of shape there. He very nearly lost the car. In the end, I think he had to slam on the brakes to avoid T-boning DeedeeTKU there. DeedeeTKU's up into second place, into 14 there. Xmec sat in 10th. He's got SmokieDevil. Oh, SmokieDevil trying to go around the outside of DJ Homby coming in Brooklands. He got the inside for Russell, but DJ Homby holding it around the outside. SmokieDevil still putting on the inside. That is a great move from SmokieDevil there. This is, as you say, Matt, there really brought these other 2 guys, Disco Racing Stu and Delore, very much into this battle for the lead. 5 cars running line of stern here, coming down the pit straight. And at the moment, DeHuisRocker now with the lead of the race after having that one pretty much gifted him to on a plate there by Zeus. But Zeus has got Dan looking all over his mirrors here. He looks to the outside coming towards Sandoval. He can't quite get that one done at the moment, but very much here showing that he wants to get this one.
McShooty and SmokieDevil. This is fantastic racing. Smokey Luti McShooty up the inside as they come into, brilliant move into the Norville chicane. So MeltedDazzer started to get away and Andy started to throw them in, but look at Motoring Morgan. He's got such a run up towards Massenet. Can he get it up the inside? I think he's going to try and lunge one up the inside. G's gone a bit wide there. Has he gone to defend the casino corner already?
Oh, geez, just gone a little bit too deep. And Morgan trying to go around the outside, but I would have been a bit more. Oh, he's going to try around the outside. Is he going to be into his braking zone? As we come into this hairpin now. G just hangs in on Morgan's going to go right around the outside. He's going to have the inside for the hairpin.
That's a great move from Motoring Morgan. Up the inside he went to Mirabeau. Through Portier, still battling, still side by side with G, and nearly chops off his front nose as they go through down Portier section now into the tunnel area, and the only G has to settle for P2 at the moment.
But Ben Parkey and Unorthodox both running side by side. It looks like Unorthodox is trying to make a move here on Ben Parkey. What's happening here? He's in the slipstream, but he's got somebody to his outside there. Xmart's trying to get involved in this one as well. The two team Prolapse teammates trying to work together, but Unorthodox managing to fend off Xmart there. You could see in the background Ugbar's trying to attack on Xmart as well as they come towards the first chicane. It looks like Unorthodox looking to the outside here of Ben Parkey. Is he going to get that move into the chicane? Ben Parkey a little bit later on the brakes. We're side by side here. He's Unorthodox going to try and make it around the outside. And that is just well and truly put a marker there on Ben Parker. He's driven clean around the outside of the first chicane. You can see there that Corsa has to negotiate. RaKiMaJe is getting absolutely swamped by all of these guys, but Unorthodox there, getting ahead of Ben Parker here.
He's already there. Here comes Gary. He's going to pull out. He's going to try and make this one 3 wide going into turn 1. And Andy on the inside. Iain just up in front. And Gary late on the brakes round the outside and both on him. Cracking manoeuvre. And he gets the rear end out and manages to hold that on the back of him.
He's at the back of the pack now.
G's on them. G's on them. This is going to get even fruitier. And Looty McShooty is making this 3 wide with the Leach brothers. And Little Leach nearly got squeezed like mad there. And I tell you what, this could not be closer. Look at Morgan and Emo Guy in the back of all of them. And they're touching a Looty McShooty and Little Leach here. They're now 5 wide. 5 wide coming down the start straight. Looty McShooty's lost out then. And the Leach brothers in the middle. Emo Guy on the inside. Morgan on the outside. Is he going to make it stick? He's just run with Gary. And Gary again goes round behind of Little Leach, but can't make it stick. Looty McShooty touches Little Leach, who puts Gary into the wall.
Yellow flag in sector 2.
The separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel, who have dreams, that want to do things. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. There's no easy way around it. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail you if you're not skilled. You know, if you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day. Make a choice. Like, you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. I'm motivated by fear.
Has managed to keep it just ahead of DJPhilgreen at the moment as we're side by side here coming down the pit straight. Is Camber going to make this 3 wide coming towards turn 1? You can see there DJPhilgreen just trying to squeeze Emo Guy towards the right, giving him the middle of that space with 3 wide coming into turn 1. Camber very sensibly backs out of that one as Emo Guy manages to hold his position on the inside line and just about squeeze his way into the position there and maintains 8th place ahead of DJPhilgreen. Here we go, and it looks like we're lights out here at Brands Hatch, and it's a good start there from pole from DeedeeTKU. And it looks like we've already got Fury coming down the middle here, coming towards Paddock Hill. DeedeeTKU trying to fend off Sebastopano as he comes onto the brakes. It looks like he has held onto the lead just about, but Serts is hassling him as he comes through Druids. And we see there Fury's managed to get that position on Oakbar into Druids. Sebastopano very late on the brakes there. It looks like DeedeeTKU's been pushed out a little bit, so Sebastopano's up into the lead. It looks like Fury having a look on DeedeeTKU, but DeedeeTKU managed to hold on to that P2 just appears. When DeedeeTKU emerges from the pit lane, we know that a pit stop is around 25 seconds, and he's going to be very close with Rompu as he comes to the end of the pit lane now. Rompu drives around the outside of Paddock Hill and up into 3rd place, so that would have not been what DeedeeTKU wanted at all. Second separating these boys, Thorsten did have a lead of about 3 or 4 seconds. He was pulling away to Ziegenmilk for a few laps, and now he pulls out to the left-hand side. Ziegenmilk has to leave the door open. We're going to go side by side here down the pit straight. Is Thorsten going to go for the move into the first corner? It looks like he does. He's up the inside, so Thorsten Borchardt getting that position side by side here down the pit straight. Oscar Style now has an opportunity to take this P2 position. We're side by side coming out towards turn 1. Oscar Style goes later on the brakes, up the inside. Elliott tries to undercut him on the exit. Still side by side, incredible stuff. Can Elliott hold it around the outside here, or is Oscar Style going to complete the move? It looks like Elliott somehow managing to hold on to that position. To go for the move. Both of these guys within about 2/10 of the car in front, as we see DeHuisRocker closing speed coming onto the brakes. So he looks like he's making the move on the inside here of Bunny Prevention, but he can't quite get it done at the moment. DeHuis goes a little bit wide there on the exit, and it looks like he almost spins it. Very close there to losing the car. HRT Zeus is up into 2nd place, but DeHuisRocker was pushing a little bit too hard there in his quest to try and get ahead of Bunny Prevention. Bunny Prevention's holding on to the lead. DeedeeTKU lining RaKiMaJe up here, but he can't quite make it stick at the moment by the looks of it. And Unorthodox has got a fantastic run on both of these guys, but Unorthodox, you just saw, had to get out of it a little bit there because he had a great run. It was going to most likely end up in him driving himself into trouble, and we can see RaKiMaJe going straight on there over the chicane. Unorthodox driving around the outside there of deedeeTKU and up into 5th place, and Unorthodox is going to try and get RaKiMaJe as well. He has indeed. That is brilliant stuff from Unorthodox in every way that he can. JonBoy very much on the back of these guys now as they come down the pit straight. Oh, we can see there, it looks like DeHuisRocker going to loose there onto the grass, and now Little Leach is going to fancy his charges around the outside, and with 3 wide here coming out of the pit straight. JonBoy trying to get involved in this action as well. In the end, I think surely Nickthevilla's going to back out. Yes, he does, but JonBoy making a double overtake there coming into turn 1, and he's up into 6th place. What a move there from
pushing,
JonBoy.
you can tell he's pushing. Look at the way he's driving the car. He's making sure it's got nothing left to give. He's absolutely ragging it round Ultipog. He's got alongside Exmar as they headed towards the island bend. Gary will have the inside line, and Exmar's wide, and he's off. Can he keep it out the tyre wall? Indeed he does.
Done. In fact, he's through, coming through the little chicane section there. And already going down the back straight, he's going to try and gain on the leaders as he's back up into P3. What can DeHuisRocker do? Well, that's RWI Racing. Comes back at Zeus, and they've made contact. And somehow Zeus and RWI have stopped it from going fully round. But DeHuisRocker and Klaus Martini had to take avoiding action there. And that's DeHuisRocker just leaning on RWI Racing, which will allow Klaus Martini up the inside. In fact, Klaus Martini's kind of forced RWI Racing wide there as well. In the background of this, Bod's looking for a piece of the action, but can't find a way through past WI Racing then. G right on the back of JonBoy. JonBoy defending really well at the moment. This for the lead here. Can G take back-to-back wins on this Tuesday night? He's got the cut back on JonBoy. That is textbook. Shoulders had a bit of a slide there, and that's allowed Motoring Morgan through. Maybe he will allow Little Leach in the background. But G, textbook there. He's reached in the glove compartment. He's pulled out the textbook. I'm going for this move, he says, and he's done it well. He's had an absolute peaceful explosion down there as well. Richie's managed to get back up into P14, but G not having the greatest of starts here. Big Boy Bracing in a world of his own, and we've seen this so many times on a Wednesday night. Gary, I think, got forced wide by Sutty, who tried to lunge on Fury, and it didn't come off. Is this Emo guy trying to go around the outside of Sutty Apex, and Gary's going to look to sneak one up the inside, and Emo guy just comes back across. Gary gives him the room, and Gary's sliding up the inside and gets that job done, but now he's got orthodubs all over the back of him, and for Motive Racing, they're teaming up on Gary here, and Gary needs to get in front of these guys and get away and get closer to Sutty, and you see him breaking late, very wide from Gary. Oh, is that Little Leach? Oh, it is Little Leach. Morgan now having a look up the inside of Gary. Little Leach is there. Morgan and Gary side by side down the start straight. Little Leach is going to make this 3 wide as they come down the start straight. And he's on the outside of Gary and Motoring Morgan. And this could be disaster going into turn 1. 3 to 1 does not work. But Little Leach around the outside of Gary. Gary sticks it there on the undercut and has got it done. And Little Leach around the outside has done both of them. Cracking driving from Little Leach. Gary's keeping it pinned in.
But he's now got Oakbar in front of him. Is he going to try and make a move on the exit of Curva Grande coming up towards second chicane? Oakbar tries to go defensive, but Civic's got the inside. It looks like Oakbar breaks a little bit later. Has he overshot the corner though? He almost did. It's a compromise for the second part of the corner, but Oakbar just about keeps onto the position by the skin of his teeth. Civic there in the end, not getting the run out of the corner. He would have been contact. Unorthodox though has got a good run there coming up into Lesmo 1. He's got the inside and he's got the move done there on RaKiMaJe. So Dan upper position. Brilliant driving there. Looks like he's got Shrimper and Ads right behind him here. Shrimper and Ads going side by side here, coming through the parabolic. You can see these guys on the exit of the corner. Ads is going to have to slipstream with Mr. O a little bit, but Shrimper looks like he's got the superior straight line speed. Although maybe Ads now just picking up that toe from the car in front. Mr. O giving the toe to Shrimper also. Side by side still coming up towards the first chicane.
Doesn't matter if you're in the lobby yet. You can join, by the way.
Everyone's going to see our password.
It doesn't matter.
Oh no, connection failed. Why?
Right, I can hear you, lads. I'm driving out. Let me switch parts.
Didn't have time to get a coffee.
That seems like a you problem.
Sick.
Come on, I don't want to restart ACC.
And a very warm welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for the Tier 1 qualifying session here for our Assetto Corsa Competizione GT3 Championship Super Season here at Motive Racing. We've got some of the best of the best in terms of GT3 drivers on the PlayStation platform, and we're very much looking forward to seeing how the penultimate round of the season shapes up. We've got a few special guests as well from the Tier 2s. So it's going to be exciting to see how these guys fit in and are able to mix it up amongst the top tier guys. But for sure, it's all going to be an interesting development. And to witness it all, I'm joined in the commentary box by the Greek. The Greek, welcome along, mate. It's good to have you with us for this Tier 1 event.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's great to be back.
Yeah, it was good to you. Obviously, had you in the box for Tier 2, and we saw what was a very exciting wet race actually, and we're expecting some unpredictable conditions for this. And in fact, we haven't got some rain on the radar. In 7 minutes we are expecting rain to start falling, so these drivers are now taking this opportunity while they can to get these faster laps in. But 7 minutes isn't much time, the Greek, and that 7 is quickly going to become 2 minutes, so it is pretty much a matter of time until these track conditions worsen quite severely.
Yes, I wonder how these rain conditions are going to affect the overall race. This is going to be the last race of the round, and it's coming down to the wire for the championship.
Yeah, it is. You've obviously got Kurt Hodgson leading the championship standings at the moment, ahead of JR Lock and Load. He's got quite a sizable lead, 59 points in the driver's standings between the two at the top of the leaderboard. And so you got Kurt Hodgson. He's taken 5 wins so far this season, 3 in a row up until Silverstone last week, where he finished second behind JR. JR took some points out of Kurt in the last round. They had a great race-long battle, which JR managed to hold on ahead of a very hard-charging Kurt at the end of the race. You got Mantulis sat in 3rd in the championship standings, 117 points behind Kurt Hodgson. Then you've got Chris Bissett in 4th place on 349 points. Chris Bissett on a bit of a run of 3rd place finishes. He's taken 4 3rd place finishes in a row coming up to this race, so he'll be pretty tired of finishing in 3rd, that is for sure. Now we're expecting Chris, if the rain does fall, that he won't be wearing his dress tonight for the race, so that's going to be interesting to see. Now whether or not taking this lucky racing dress off might bring him some bad fortunes over the course of this round, but let's hope that he keeps his lucky dress on, otherwise it might cause him a few problems. As we see him coming over the line there, and he stays P5 at the moment, but he's a little way off for the fastest time, being set by Kurt Hodgson on a 1:55.8. Dr. Benji goes into 2nd there in the Ferrari, less than a 10th of a second off of Kurt Hodgson at the top of that leaderboard. Normac doing a very, very solid job there in 4th, and Milden, the Tier 2 race winner, a special guest for Tier 1 tonight, is up in 3rd, only a 10th off of Kurt. So the Greek, Milden's done a great job. Yeah, he's really stepped up to the plate, hasn't he? He's taken this opportunity. Yeah.
Well, he was great in the Tier 2 race, absolutely dominated. He ended up winning the race by, what was it, 15 seconds?
Yeah, 20 seconds I think, 21 seconds in the end.
Was it 21 at the end?
Yeah, by the time second place crossed over the line, he was 21 seconds. So Milden absolutely blitzed it in the wet conditions. He'll be praying for rain, I'm pretty sure, as we're now expecting rain within 2 minutes. So it's getting imminent now, and drivers will, I'm sure, be aching to get round the lap before the heavens open. But it's pretty much we're merely seconds away from the rain absolutely tipping down here. 9 minutes left to go in the qualifying session. Well, after a certain point, the lap times will not be getting any quicker, as Kurt does the fastest lap of the session, improves his personal best by over a second. He's now 1.1 seconds clear at the top of that leaderboard. I remember Kurt saying a while back, Paul Ricard is a track that he doesn't really like very much, but
Locked and Load just went to the top of the charts. He took number 1 away from Kurt.
Oh yeah, JR doing a great job there, or rather Junior Lock and Load there, putting it 12.
He's only quicker by 12 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, it's so close between those two, but Junior Lock and Load knows that he needs to put in a hell of a performance tonight if he is indeed to to continue to close that gap to Kurt Hodgson in the point standings. You've got double points next week at Misano, so Junior will definitely be looking to try and make the most of that. If he can get himself within striking distance, then who knows what will happen in the final round of the season. Kurt, though, needs to keep consistent because he has got that big lead at the top, which will definitely be keeping him in good stead as we go into that final round at Misano, which is also a double distance as well as a double points. So it's a double whammy all round for everybody out there. The better you do, obviously, the happier you're going to be because
the rain has just arrived.
Yeah, it has, and we're expecting it to get heavier as well, aren't we, the Greek? It's light rain at the moment, but in 7 minutes it's looking like it's going to be torrential rain here. So pretty much it's going to be basically get your lap in now or never for these drivers. Is Kurt going to be able to get ahead of JR or Junior before this session concludes? Pretty much this is going to be now or never. Yeah, this is it. This is his last chance really to get a lap in before the track depletes, and it looks like Kurt's gone fastest there by 0.3 of a second. He does it. Brilliant stuff there from Kurt. What is Junior going to be able to do on a greasy track? The grip is definitely reducing, and it looks like he's coming into the pits.
Yeah, he's coming to the pits.
So he's not going to be able to go quicker. Junior there, bringing it into the pit box. We got Dr. Benchy out there, Milden, Chris Pissock, Evo Guy, all out there at the moment on lap times. So Normac's in the pits, Ratchedas in the pits, also Nilsson likewise. The only G's out there, but he's still yet to do a lap. Oh, the only G's really set himself up badly in this route, in this qualifying session, because he's not going to get a quick lap in before the track very much becomes a bit of a hazard out there. So that is not what the only G would have wanted at all. He's a high flyer in this GT3 championship, 6th in the standings, took the win in the wet conditions earlier in the season at Brands. If it rains, then I'm sure that G will definitely be a contender, as will Kurt. We know he's strong in the wet as well, as G's coming through the final part of the track. Still greasy track conditions, we're not quite damp yet, so we still be seeing dry pace, but what's G going to do as he crosses over the line now? He's 4 seconds off. Oh, he's a long way off for the fastest time there, being set by Kurt. Ratchedas comes over and goes a 10th quicker than G. The wall's still yet to put in a lap time. Nilsson hasn't got a lap in, but the times aren't going to get any quicker from here on in. It's only going to get worse for these drivers from now. It's only downhill from here. The track conditions are going to get more and more treacherous. And the Greek, we've pretty much got our qualifying order in front of us with 5 minutes left to go here in this session. We've got Kurt on top, Junior in second, and those two heads and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, they really are setting the pace for this race.
They are, they really are. They've just got a sizable advantage over the rest of the guys. Kurt and Junior lock and load there, very much in a class of their own. You've got Ratchedas just come into the pits there. Yep, just bringing it into the pits. Nilsson's out there, but he's not going to go any quicker. Well, he's going to put a lap in at least, but
he's put 1 lap in.
Yeah, it's not going to be a quick one though, is it? Greasy track, still not damp. I'm surprised. The rain's been falling for a little while now. We've still only got light rain on the forecast, but soon after the light rain, we're expecting some heavy rain. So yeah, it's having said that though, I think the end of the session will come in the nick of time for these guys. But ladies and gentlemen, just those of you joining us right now live on the Motive Racing channel, welcome to our Tier 1 stream for the Assetto Corsa Competizione GT3 Championship. We've got some rain here at the end of this qualifying session, so the times aren't going to get any quicker. We've kind of reached the end of this session, I suppose. Some drivers may take to the track to get some wet running in and get an idea of what the tracks are going to be like at the start of the race. That is if we have wet conditions for the race, like we did in Tier 2. But
we've got a few drivers come back out. Normac, MRO, The Wall.
Yeah,
I guess they want a little bit of practice in the wet.
Yeah.
Signs to come, maybe?
Yeah, lock and loads out there on the track, seeing what he can do at the end of this session. Nilsson there, still yet to set a lap time. By the way, the Greek, QTKP is Nilsson, just for heads up. He also known as Wi-Fi. Yeah, also known as Wi-Fi. As we see Manchulis taking to the track, also trying to get some wet running in. But 3.5 minutes left to go. Just a quick run through the championship situation here. There are 2 drivers still in the hunt of taking the championship. They are Kurt Hodgson and Junior Lock and Load, and those two separated by 59 points in the standings. Double points next week, so Junior Lock and Load might be able to close the gap on Kurt Hodgson in the final round, but he needs to be within striking distance here coming out of this round here at Paul Ricard, that is for sure. But yeah, it's definitely going to be treacherous if the conditions in the race are anything like what we see at the moment. And one man who's going to go into this with a lot of preparation is Milden, because we saw Milden in the first race for Tier 2s, the Greek. He took a really convincing win in the Tier 2s, racing as a special guest tonight in Tier 1, and if it's wet then he will definitely have that sort of that head start, having raced earlier on and completely blitzed it.
Yeah, he already has a good setup supposedly from the way he performed in the Tier 2 race. Definitely expecting him to do well right now in the Tier 1s.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Only a few drivers starting the pits at the moment, so it looks like Kurt, Dr. Benji, Milden, Chris Pissock, Marty, SimRaceTrain and the Only G all think that they've done enough practice in order to not need to get some running in. Everybody else is out on track at the moment. Let's keep an eye. That's who we're going to watch. That's Zima guy comes into the pits in the number 666 McLaren. Junior comes over the line and he obviously can't improve because of the wet conditions. Just want to say to the 14 people watching the stream right now, guys, if you haven't dropped a like on this video, then please do so. It helps us out an incredible amount here at Motive Racing. We always appreciate every single one of you guys who gives us the support and gets behind us, shows us your love and appreciation for what we do. And also, if you're watching us for the first time, subscribe to the Motive Racing channel. Hit the bell if you want to be notified when we're live in future. It's definitely all well worth getting involved with. If you want to get involved in the on-track action, go to motiveracing.com. And if you're watching this and you've seen it on PlayStation and you feel a little bit disappointed, don't be disappointed, because we will be expanding to the PC platform very, very soon. In fact, end of May, start of June, we will be expanding to the PC on Assetto Corsa Competizione. So if you're a Assetto Corsa Competizione player on the PC platform, then obviously you're in luck, because you will be able to race with us once we expand over there. And if you're racing on the PlayStation 4, do not despair, because we're staying on the PlayStation. We're not going anywhere. We will still be on PS4 or PS5, depending on which PlayStation you play your games on. Regardless, you'll be able to join us and take part in our races, and you'll have live commentary and broadcast on all the streams. If you want to get your family, your friends to come and have a look, see what it's about, see what you're up to, then feel free to post the links on your Facebooks, on your Twitters, your Instas, wherever. Let people know that you're out on track and that you're taking part in an event. So yeah, so definitely do that. So as we can see, we've got 4 cars out on the track right now. Junior, Mr. O, Ratchidas and Nilsson as juniors coming into the pit, slowing the car right down there and stopping the car on the entrance to the pits, actually, interestingly, rather than driving all the way up to the pit box, because that's not really much point in doing that. But I think that's that then for the session. So we're about to go into the race in a few minutes time. Just going to take a very, very short break whilst we go into this one, as my controls have been locked, as you all know, as we're all used to. So we will catch you very shortly, guys, in about 5 minutes.
your trail, and I'm losing your mind, and I'm losing your head. Let me escape from this unlove, 'cause I'm a prisoner. I just want to look my way and never back to you.
Falling apart when you're so far. You're the only thing that I can't lose. I can't lose. You filled in the cracks, didn't know I had. Melting my heart from the broken glass. Now in every part of me, it's you.
Closer than you. I can't live
I just love how you can change the heads-up display screen in your car.
Alright, nice and radius.
Yeah.
So watch out for slippery curves and something to brake earlier.
With the McLaren, you get the choice of either like your braking tire temperatures or your predicted lap time.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go racing here for the Tier 1s for the ACC GT3s here at Motive Racing. Kurt Hodgson lining up at the front of the field with Junior lock and load alongside him. We've got Dr. Benji and Milden behind them. Chris Pissick and Emo Guy in 5th and 6th. Normac, Enistero, Manchulis and Marty Road Racing completing the top 10. SimRaceTrain, Ratchetus, the Only G, The Wall and Nilsson at the back of the field. Let us know in the comments who your favourite. Who do you think is going to take this race tonight? Is Kurt going to extend his margin at the top of the leaderboard in the standings, or is Junior going to reel him in a little bit? We'll find out in a few moments' time, as they're now coming up towards the start-finish line. Who's going to get the best bite? Who is going to actually absolutely launch it as we go green, green, green? And it looks like we're on the way now, and Kurt immediately gets a good start. Junior tucks into the slipstream, trying to get as much tow as he can, but Junior's got Dr. Benji looking to his outside, and is Dr. Benji going to try and drive around Junior? Junior going for laying on the brake, start up the inside. He's going to try and look back up the inside of Kurt, but Kurt's going to fend him off and holds on to the lead coming through the first couple of corners. Junior though, looking to the inside, coming up towards turn 3. Is he going to be able to get a move done? They're still side by side. These two championship contenders going toe to toe once again, and Junior has got the move done up into the lead of the race. Kurt down to second. It looks like Dr. Benji is running in third place, and Emo Guy has made an unbelievable start. Look at this. Ian's up into fourth place in the first sector of this first lap. He's got a few drivers queuing up behind him right now, but he's done a great opening lap. Has Emo Guy, and it's Junior leading the race ahead of Kurt, Dr. Benji, Emo Guy, Milden the top 5, Normac, Mr. O, Ioni G's already up into 8th place. What a start from the Ioni G. Marty Road Racing, Manchulis, SimRaceTrain towards the back. It looks like the Wall is having a bit of a ding dong here with Nilsson. Oh, Chris Pissick even. Chris is down in 15th place. Not the start that Chris would have wanted. These two look like they're going absolutely side by side, and they've got Nilsson. They're just in front of them, but the Wall and Chris Pissick really dicing it out at the start of this race, and Junior's already got a 2.2 second lead out the front over Kurt Hodgson. He's pulling out that gap, and Kurt's got Dr. Benji, Milden, Emo Guy, Normac in very close contention, but the Greek, we just saw Emo Guy making a strong start, but Milden looks like he's got to move back on him, but it looks like Emo Guy's looking back to the inside. No, that's actually actually Normac there.
Dr. Benji.
Normac there, yeah. Dr. Benji getting really pushed out. Milden getting ahead of all of them. Milden getting ahead of Dr. Benji up into third, and Dr. Benji going backwards. Dr. Benji and Emo Guy both having a bit of a torrid middle sector there on this first lap of the race, but Junior lock and load leading the race by some considerable way. He's made an incredible start here in these wet conditions, has Junior. It really has. He's absolutely flown out of the gates, has Junior, and yeah, absolutely hats off to Junior. Top driving.
Great start. That's definitely the start he was looking for this race.
For sure. And there's Kirk in second place. Milden just over a second behind him in third. Emo Guy continuing to put the pressure on. He's got back ahead of Normac up into fourth place. Normac's trying to fend off the Only G there. See the Only G really giving him some pressure. Dr. Benji's not giving up in this one. He's still sat just behind this lead pack in 7th place. A bit of a gap back to Mr. O. Marty, Ranchulis, SimRaceTrain has fallen off the leaders in 11th place. Chris Pissick has got ahead of the Wall, Nilsson and Ratchetus. He's now into 12th, and he can try and chase down the lead pack, but he's a long way behind at the end of the first lap. The Wall, Nilsson and Ratchetus fighting it out, and it looks like these three are really giving each other a good fight here. So we can see Ratchetus having a little look to the inside, but I think Nilsson's going to hold it around the outside. Is he? Oh, Ratchetus is still there. They're still going side by side through the S's, and I think Nilsson's got that one done. He has. He's up into 14th place there. And Kurt Hodgson's made a mistake. Yeah, he's fallen back behind Milden. Milden's up into second, and now Emo Guy and Normac in hot pursuit, very, very close behind Kurt Hodgson at the moment. And these guys have really dropped off JR Lock and Load. Sorry, Junior even. Junior Lock and Load. Now leading the race by 4 seconds here. So he's absolutely on it at the moment, is Junior. Milden, Kurt, Emo Guy, Normac, the only G, separated by about 2 seconds. There's 5 drivers, and they've gapped Dr. Benji a little bit, and we can see that that's Mr. O getting really wide, and Marty Road Racing is up the inside, up into 8th place. Manchulis just behind. It looks like he's going to pick up the pieces there. He's now up the inside. Mr. O going backwards here, down to 10th place in the first part of this race. SimRaceTrain is a little not too far behind these guys also, and it looks like RaKiMaJe has fallen off the back of actually no, he's closing up onto the back of the wall even, so he's got back ahead of Nilsson and is now reeling in the wall. So these guys having a great fight over 13th place, but Junior continuing to put out that gap. He just seems to have something in his weight conditions that none of the other drivers do. As he comes out onto the start finish straight to complete lap 2 of the race, he's very much in control of this race, is Junior at this point. Milden, Kurt, Emo Guy, this pack of 5 cars still fighting it out. Normac and the only G on the back of that pack. But breathtaking action so far, the Greek, as we see Normac having a little look to the inside of Emo Guy. Can't get a move done into the first corner though. Oh, Emo Guy's gone deep though. Turn one, I think Normac's going to be able to capitalise.
Completely missed the braking point there.
He did, yeah.
The only G with an amazing start to this race. When he started, was it 11th or down in the griddle? Or
he was way back, wasn't it? 12th or something.
He's already up to 6th, and he's harassing Normac.
Yeah, he really is. And he wants to, yeah, he wants to get something done here in the early stage of this race. There's the only G. Somebody's lost the car there. I think that may have. Oh, it's Mr. O. Mr. O once again losing the car. He's back behind Chris Pissock. He's now falling back into the clutches of RaKiMaJe. That's the wall. And pardon me, that was hiccup. And the wall and Nilsson. Plenty of action going on right now, as we see.
Normac right behind Emo Guy.
Yeah, he is, and they're coming up towards the end of the back straight. Also, Kurt is really putting pressure on Milden. Ooh, not quite right now. He's going to look back to the inside. Normac trying to get the switch back there. Emo Guy a little bit sideways, catches it really well actually, and holds on right now. But Normac and G really pressuring him, and these 3 have dropped off of Milden and Kurt just a little bit over the course of this lap. But Kurt's still not able to get that move done on Milden. Yeah, he is. He looks like he's got that move done there. So he's up into P5. He can now pull up onto the back of Emo Guy and try and get himself up into 4th place. Dr. Benji and Marty having a great little scrap here for 7th as well. And Manchulis just ahead of Chris Pissock on the road, 7/10 of a second separating Manchulis and Chris, as it looks like yeah, Emo Guy still ahead of the only G. Normac just behind, the only G having made that move on Normac, currently running in that 5th position. Kurt just behind Milden. Looks like Milden has got a bit of a comfortable cushion to Kurt. I wouldn't say he's out of striking distance, less than a second separating them. But Kurt's not right up his chuff like he was, and the only G's making a move to the outside of Emo Guy. Emo Guy's going to have the inside line and try and defend that position. Oh, bit of contact there, and Emo Guy looks like he gets spun round. Oh, he's facing the wrong way, and the only G continues on his merry way. That looked like a little bit of lag there on the stream between those 2, and Emo Guy's been passed by Dr. Benji and Marty. Now he's down to 8th place. Emo Guy was having such a promising opening couple of laps to this race, but it's all gone up in smoke for the Flying Scotsman. That is such a shame there for Iain, but Manchulis is putting up onto the back of SimRaceTrain a little bit in this fight for 9th, but oh, that is such a shame there for Emo Guy. Such a shame. The Wall, in the meantime, sat in 12th place. He's got 8/10 of a second back to Nilsson, as these 2 are still continuing their scrap over 12th place, and Mr. O running in 14th with Chris Pissock. Also not too far off him, but Chris has had a very topsy-turvy race so far in this one. He's pretty much been not making the progress that we're used to seeing from Chris if he's down the pack at the back of the pack at the start. And Chris, we know, has taken off his lucky dress for these wet conditions, so maybe that's brought him a little bit of misfortune here so far in this one. But
probably wishing that he kept that dress on now.
Yeah, I reckon so. That he was definitely has missed out taking that dress off, that is for sure. JR though, it's got 4.6 seconds of a lead over Milden, and Milden still holding Kurt at bay. 8/10 of a second separating these two at the moment. 2.5 seconds back to the only G sat in 4th, who's got just under a second back to Normac in 5th. So the only G's dropping off of Milden and Kurt, although he himself has gapped Normac ever so slightly. Dr. Benji's up into 6th, and obviously he's ahead of Marty and Emo Guy though. Not giving up on this 7th place. He's still on the back of Marty and looking to try and regain the positions that he lost with that contact with the only G.
Guy making a great recovery. He's all over the back right now, Marty Road Racing. Trying to look for a way around them.
Yeah, let's see if he can make the move here.
No, and he did. He completed the pass. He did get around Marty Road Racing.
Oh yeah, he has. You're absolutely right with the Greek. It's a great move there from Emo Guy. We actually missed it, but I'm sure it was brilliant. And
cycle back. We got Matalis just got around Sim Racing.
He has, yeah. SimRaceTrain's lost out there to the Bentley of Mantulis, but I'm surprised actually Mantulis running in 9th place. The Bentley is renowned for being extremely good in wet conditions. It's nicknamed the Boatley, the Bentley, but so far Mantulis not been able to extract the best performance out of it, so whether or not it will come on strong later on in the race, we'll have to wait and see. Welcome to all the people watching the stream at the moment on the YouTube channel. If you like what you see, if you're enjoying the action, share this with your friends. Let people know about what we've got here on the Motive Racing channel. We've got live action on ACC every single Sunday and Monday and Wednesday. So if you want to get involved in the action, go to motiveracing.com. Sign yourselves up as drivers, guys. We're seeing some phenomenal tussles out on track. Oh no, his Mantulis has lost it. He's spun off onto the runoff area. RaceTrain, I do apologise. SimRaceTrain in the Audi has just spun off the track, and he's now well off the back of Mantulis. I think he's lost out to Ratchedas as well.
Yep, Ratchet's gone through.
Yeah, Ratchedas is ahead of him. SimRaceTrain now down to 11th place. He should be ahead of the wall, I think. But we've got Morgan Endine, Motoring Morgan in the comments saying, good start from G, up 10 positions from the start. Yeah, Morgan, he has put in a hell of a shift in the first part of the race, and he's only 2 seconds behind his teammate Kurt. G, a man who we know is always strong in the right conditions. We saw at Brands Hatch earlier in the season in his first appearance in Tier 1. Oh no, his Mr. O got sideways.
Yeah, he's funny, he looked at the...
Oh no, he's lost out there.
He was over the back of the wall, and I guess he got back to the lap just a little too early, and he just spun it out.
That is gutting there for Mr. O. He's down to 15th and last place here in this race. He just needs to get himself together, keep himself composed and go again, because there's still lots of time left in this race for him to just get himself back into it. But in the meantime, it's Junior lock and load in this race. He's got 5 seconds over Milden, and he's continuing to just gradually eke out that gap. Junior has driven a solid race so far, driving in that very fetching McLaren 212 livery, obviously 212 number of the Angel. His teammate Emo Guy driving in the number 666, the number of the Devil, of course. So conflicting sides between those two drivers, but obviously they share a common goal in that they both want to win, and obviously some people do pick their numbers out of irony as well. That also has to be taken into account. But only G saw going really wide there onto the runoff area.
Kurt closing the gap to Milden Sim Racing.
Yeah, he is really giving Milden a little bit of something to worry about at the moment. And Kurt goes really wide there, though. He's not going to get it done that way. That is for sure the group.
Marty lost it.
Marty?
Yep. It was right behind me and Dr. Benji.
I don't see him on the leaderboard. Has Marty disconnected?
Yeah.
Oh no, Marty Road Racing is... Oh, that is so unfortunate there for Marty Road Racing. We're down to 14 drivers here in this Tier 1 race. We're only 13 minutes into this race, and already we have lost a driver. That is just... Oh, that's heartbreaking, I've got to say. Emo Guy though, within a tenth of a second of Dr. Benji, having a little look at me to the first turn, but Dr. Benji's holding the inside line. Emo Guy goes really wide there, and just... just abusing the track limits a little bit there, taking advantage of the runoff areas that we've got here at Paul Ricard. And that's a shame there, but he's still not able to get ahead of Dr. Benji in that fight for P6. These guys are a little way off. Normat currently sat in 5th, who is dropping off of Kurt and the ODG, and this is actually interesting now. The ODG continuing to close in on Milden and Kurt, and Kurt's still not able to find a way around Milden. He has been all over him for some considerable time in this race, and Kurt's now got the run, but is he going to pull out? Yeah, he's going to pull out of the slipstream now.
He's next to him.
Oh, it's side by side, and it looks like the McLaren has got the legs on the BMW as they come up towards the end of the back straight.
Yes,
yeah, he's done that really well, hasn't he, the Greek? And Kurt into some clean air. Yeah, he's into some clean air, and now he can try and chase down Junior Lock and Load in the lead of the race. Has Kurt got the pace on Junior, though? That is the big question that we're going to find out over the course of this race.
Well, they've already taken a little bit of time out of Junior's lead. I believe they brought it down by 0.2 of a second now, so they're gaining on him just by a little bit. So maybe Junior is conserving tires now. He's running more consistent lap times instead of trying to push too hard.
Yeah, it could possibly be just taking too much life out of the tyres early doors for Junior, and he's been pushing it a little bit beyond the limits of what the car wants to do, and now we might be seeing him paying the consequences of going a little bit too hard earlier on, and now he's going to suffer. Despite, you know, he might be taking it easy now. He might have you know, started to be more, you know, cautious, yeah. But having said that, you know, despite that, obviously the damage is done, so to speak. So yeah, it's obviously with the damage being done, the consequences and repercussions are still to be had in terms of those tyres, which will be wearing off at an alarming rate. But Kurt and Milden still separated by 8 tenths. Milden's not lying down in that fight for second place. Oh, Milden's going to try and go around the outside of Kurt. Is he going to be able to get it done? Go. Looks like
come onto the straight. Can Milden use the slipstream from the McLaren to get around?
Yeah, he's in the slipstream here. He's going to get a lovely run coming down this back straight. But Kurt's going to try and defend the inside. Yep, he's just blocking it off. No way around him. Milden is going to try and go around the long way here and try and return the favour. This is the part of the track where Kurt took the P2 in this race on the previous lap. And I think Kurt is going to hold on for the time being ahead of Milden.
I think that McLaren got the better straight line speed than the BMW. He's flashing his lights at him. Milden not happy with the way Kurt's defending as Kurt runs wide.
Yeah, he gets really wide through that section of the track, but holds on there ahead of Milden, and whilst these two fight it out, it's only allowing the ODG to make considerable gains on these two. We were talking a few moments ago about Junior and potentially taking too much life out of those tyres, and the damage already being done. But it looks like no damage done to that car at the moment. He's definitely still pushing it, and to be honest, I don't think that there's any. I don't think there's anything that's going to happen to those tyres whatsoever. It's just, I think it's just all hearsay. It's just us speculating, but nothing at all is going to happen ever, and it's just, yeah, nothing's going to happen basically. But 5.8 seconds he's got of a lead over Junior, over Kurt Hodgson. Junior doing a great job at the moment, and I think those tyres are in great nick by the looks of it.
Yeah, extended almost to 6 seconds now, the gap between Junior and Kurt.
Yeah, I think the gap to Kurt is signifying to Junior that if he makes another mistake, then it could be curtains. But as long as he doesn't make any more mistakes, I think, you know, he's pretty good in that P1 position. And but Kurt's very much got his hands full, and the thing is, it's preventing Kurt's ability to chase down and get anything done with Junior, because he's just focusing more on what's in his mirrors, so he can't really get his foot to the floor. He can't maximise the potential of that McLaren, and we see once again Milden getting a lovely run here down this section of the track, the creek. We've seen these two really putting on a great show, and they're so close again, and the ODG continuing to reel them in while they fight it out as well.
Slowly but surely, if they keep fighting like this, it's only give the opportunity for Junior to extend the gap and for the ODG to catch them. which is not going to be helpful for Kurt whatsoever if he wants to try to win this race.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely going to be preventing him from reeling in that gap, and this is what Junior needs. He really needs to gain more points on Kurt. We have got the double points finale, double points, double distance finale at Misano next week. So if Junior can get the gap down to, I don't know, let's just say for example 50 points or something, you know, those double points could really come in handy in the final race of the season. So he's in a decent position right now. He needs to continue driving the way he is at the moment, and he will get a great result at the end of this race. He'll be most likely on for the win. Rest of the field pretty strung out, not really battles going on aside from this fight between Kurt and Milden. The only G looks like he's not really making any more gains at the moment. We've got Sebastian Bolker in the comments section saying, let's go Sebastian. These boys are putting on a hell of a show. They're doing a great job here in these wet conditions. Not easy driving these GT3s in the wet, but these guys are making the best of it, and it looks like Milden's got ahead of Kurt. Oh, Kurt's lost out here. He's down to 3rd place. Oh, but Milden goes really wide there, coming through that section of the track. And is Kurt going to get that back? No, he's not. Milden's going to hold on for the time being. But
that's the last thing Kurt needed right now.
It really is, yeah. These two trading places, and I wonder if Milden now has the pace to go after Junior. These two, I think, are just too busy fighting each other and not really making the gains on the leader that they would like. The only G now only 1.7 seconds behind Kurt. Now
he's in the slipstream of Kurt.
He is, yeah, and these two Pink Panther teammates, obviously G not running the Pink Panther livery, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but he's 1.2 seconds behind Kurt on the track at this point. And we've got a comment coming in the YouTube comment section from Dusica saying, let's go the Wall. The Wall currently sat in 12th place at the moment, Dusica, but having said that, it's his first appearance in Tier 1. He is a guest driver tonight, so you can't knock him. He's stepped up to the plate very well, considering he's beating 2 regular Tier 1 drivers right now in Mr. Owen Nilsson. So can't knock him. You can't knock the Wall down. But well, I suppose they knocked the Berlin Wall down, didn't they?
You can run into it.
Yeah, yeah, that's brilliant. But they knocked the Berlin Wall down, didn't they? So I guess you can knock the Wall down. But it did take it took many years and a lot of political differences for that to happen. But anyway, we're not talking about politics, we're talking about racing here on the Motive Racing channel here on ACC in the GT3s. And JR continuing to lead it out. Milden has pulled out a bit of a cushion to Kurt, but Kurt actually has reeled him in a little bit. He's reeled him back in coming through this first sector of the lap. It was 9/10, it's definitely less than 9/10 now. You can see visibly the two of them almost joined at the hip. As we see the gap between Junior and Milden, 6.3 seconds, and Kurt, well actually he's 8/10 off of Milden right now. The only G bringing himself into this fight as well. He's only 1.3 seconds behind this fight for the podium spot, so don't rule out the only G. He'll be Johnny on the spot if these two start tripping over each other or slowing each other down. That is for sure.
That McLaren is so much better than a straight line than the BMW. Kurt making up a lot of time down the straightaway.
Yeah, he really is, isn't he? We saw that Kurt made the move on Milden a couple of times coming down that section of the track, but the only times when Milden's been able to get the position back is through the corners. It's when Kurt's made mistakes. Yeah, they do, don't they? Kurt's mistakes when he's been in front of Milden has been his undoing, but you're right, he's so much quicker in a straight line, just cannot make use of it at the moment. And the only G looks like he might be within that second window of Kurt Hodgson, so this could spell trouble for Kurt now. Now he's got that Merc AMG of the only G looming ever larger in his mirrors. This could be a challenge for Kurt Hodgson, for sure.
Two biggest cars on track right now got Kurt boxed in. You got the BMW in the front, and you got the big AMG in the back.
Yeah, what they need is a Bentley to make that a trio, don't they? And then you've got a trio of beasts. but it's if only Manchulis was up there with them, then that would be perfect, wouldn't it? You would have the beastly trio. But also, speaking of Manchulis, he's 3 seconds behind Emo Guy, who's currently 2 seconds off the back of Dr. Benji. And it looks like Iain may have been reeling in Dr. Benji a little bit over the course of the last few laps. 1.3 seconds now separating Dr. Benji and Iain, so Ian's definitely making gains on the back of that Ferrari, the number 77. He needs to keep doing what he's doing, and he might be able to maximise his points here in this race. Normac is a little way ahead of Dr. Benji right now, so these two fighting out over 6th, and that's realistically the sum of their expectations for at least the time being. But exciting battle on the horizon between these two. That is absolutely definite. And Kurt still just behind Milden, but he's so close. Coming down to the end of the back straight. Yeah, only 0.3 of a second separating the two of them as they hit the brakes. But Kurt's still not able to get that done with Milden. 4 now. And the only G's dropped off for these two as well. The only G might have made a mistake.
Both Kurt and Milden are struggling in that one turn, running wide almost every lap.
Yeah, one man I feel sorry for is the only G, because he is losing time to them. He's dropping off, but every time they go through that corner, he's absolutely perfect through there. He's not putting a foot wrong. But yet somehow he's dropping off of these guys that presumably running wide is gaining these two a little bit of time. But Kurt's still not able to get around Milden at the moment. These two have been fighting it out for a number of laps as Milden really rides over the curb there. And Kurt gets a nice run out of the final corner. Yeah, I think he might have a run here, the Greek. I think this could be second place. Here we go.
Using that McLaren horsepower.
Yeah, indeed. It's got so much at your disposal when you tap the accelerator pedal on that hot pink McLaren, but it doesn't look like like Kurt's able to get that done into turn 1. It was actually the BMW seemed like it was able to brake a lot later coming into the first corner, and as such Kurt had to surrender that position, and now it's brought G back into the equation for these podium positions. But these three running within about 2 seconds of each other, all three of them. And Emo Guy is now really all over the back of Dr. Benji as well in this fight for 6th, as these two come into turn 1 at the moment. It's Ferrari versus McLaren for 6th, and the pit window is now open, so these guys can come into the pits at any time they wish, but no drivers have decided to pull the trigger at the first time of asking. They're all waiting a little bit into the pit window before pulling that trigger, as we see Emo Guy very late on the brakes, almost running into the back of Dr. Benji, but getting it stopped in time and doing a good job there.
Emo Guy doing a great job right now, making up for that lost time for that early spin.
Yeah, it's been a really good recovery drive from Iain so far, I've got to say.
I believe Medalist is making some time on Emo Guy as well.
He is, yeah, man. This is just reeling these two in, Dr. Benji and Emo Guy, whilst they focus on each other and whilst they're potentially tripping over each other. It's definitely bringing Mantulis into that equation for P6. And he's got 3.5 seconds back to Ratchet. That's sat in 9th place. Chris Pissick, though, having an absolute horror show in this one. I don't know what's going on with Chris tonight, but he just hasn't really clicked into gear. Yeah, it must be the rain or something, or I don't know, maybe the setup, and maybe he's gone a slightly wrong direction with the strategy.
Looking at the forecast, it looks like in the next 10 minutes, though, that it's gonna stop raining, and the track might start drying out.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth there, mate. Very well spotted. So possibly with about oh no, this is so tricky though, mate. This is so tricky because the pit window ends in 7 minutes, but the rain isn't set to stop for another 10 minutes. So what do? Do they put the dry tyres on in anticipation of the track drying out and tiptoe round for a few laps, or do they put another set of the wets on and suffer and end up possibly having to come into the pits again if the track dries out? This has now turned into a very, very tricky strategic decision indeed for these drivers, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. This is a big monkey wrench in this whole equation and this whole race right now. Because as soon as it starts drying out and you're still on those wet tires, it's going to start chewing up the wet tires much faster than if you were on the dries.
Indeed, yeah.
But
so
how fast would the track actually dry out, though, once it stops raining?
That is a good question. And to be honest, in an ACC, the track the track conditions transition is actually very realistic. It is gradual. Like when we had the rain falling at the end of the qualifying session, we had an optimal track towards the end of the session, and then when the rain started falling, it went very gradually from green to greasy and then to damp in the end. But you saw, I mean, it took a good 10 minutes for the track to actually be classified as damp, and that was with the rain pretty much tipping it down. So you've got a very realistic sort of track condition, weather model. Yeah, exactly that, indeed. So it's going to be, it's not going to be easy for the guys to put the dry tyres on and for them to immediately hook up when the rain stops. It's going to be that gradual transition.
Kurt going really wide, trying to chase that Melden.
Yeah, and the OG's dropped off of these two a little bit.
It is. The OG's going to get right up to the back of him now.
Oh yeah, he has actually come back onto the tour end of them. The Wall, the only driver to come into the pits. These three, Junior, Milden and Kurt, all electing to stay out on the track for the time being. The only G now within 7/10 of a second of Kurt. Normac's coming into the pits. He's the first to blink. Emo guy is has got ahead of Dr. Benji up into 6th place. So he's now into some clean air. Dr. Benji running just behind him. Who's that?
Oh, Norman. He's stationary on the track.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he was stopped for a little bit. Now he's going again. Looks like he spun and hit the wall. The whole front end of the Ferrari is all damaged.
Wait, Benji?
No, Benji got that,
right? Not Benji. It was
oh, Nilsson,
yeah.
Yeah, it looks a little bit battered and bruised, doesn't it, that thing?
Yeah.
So he's now full.
Locked and low coming up on him now.
Yeah, the leader was about to put a lap on him, so he's got to be wary of that. We've currently got 18 people watching the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you see here on the Motive Racing channel, then drop a like. We've just got a comment coming in from SimRaceTrain saying that he got disconnected from the session, and that is gutting there for SimRaceTrain. That is really unfortunate there, mate, and it's nice to see you in the comment section, but not the race that SimRaceTrain would have liked. SimRaceTrain does actually regularly broadcast his races. He doesn't stream it, but he does do a live commentary on his races as he's driving them, and then he uploads it afterwards. So if you guys haven't seen, check out SimRaceTrain's YouTube channel. All you need to do is basically check out the channel that's in the comments right there and there, and you can go and see. But we see there Nilsson getting well out of the way for the leaders. That's Milden, Kurt and the Only G all coming through. And to be fair, Nilsson doing a very good job there, very courteously allowing the leaders to come through without too much of a hassle. We've got the Wall saying, "Go on, Benji." Benji currently saying 6th place. He's been passed by Emo Guy, dropping back a little bit at the moment, the Wall. But I'm sure that the support that you are giving him in the chat will spur him on. Team Prolapse in the comments. Nikki there getting behind the Pink Panthers. J Palm saying, "Much lighter rain now. Let's see what tyres drivers use. Track's still wet, but if the rain stops it could dry out." That's what we were saying, J-Pom. And you see these drivers, only Normac and the Wall and Nilsson have been in. Everybody else stood out on track and we're on the last lap of the pit window. So everybody is staying out as long as they can, trying to extend the stint for as long as they can, because they don't want to be pulling the trigger and making a decision too early. They want to make the decision as late as they possibly can. So this is a fascinating strategy right now, the Greek. We're seeing these guys, it's a non-committal, but it also leaves your options open for as long as possible.
I wonder who's going to stick with the wetter tires and who's going to switch over to dry sets.
Yeah, as we see Ratchet, he's coming into the pits. I wonder what he's putting on. Normac, let's watch him for a bit, see, because the track's still wet, so if he's on dries he would be sliding all over the place right now. And let's have a look. To me,
yeah, he's on the dries. He's on very cautious with the throttle.
He's tiptoeing around, isn't he? Look at him. He is pretty much living dangerously right now. It's like he's driving on ice. It's like in the UK when it snows in January or February or whenever, and you live on a hill or something, and you've got people just basically just
sliding down the hill,
sliding all over the place. Yeah, pretty much.
That's when you don't park your car in the street that day.
Oh, we got some interesting stuff going on right now. It looks like Dr. Benji He's on the back of.
spot.
Yeah, he's fallen out. He's fallen back. He's behind Manchulis at the moment. So that's unfortunate for Dr. Benji, but there's still time in this race for him to bring himself back into this fight for 6th place as we see the top 4 in the pits.
Came in. They all did.
So that's Junior, Milden, Kurt, and the only G all coming into their pit boxes right about now. But SimRaceTrain saying the racing line shouldn't take too long in the absence of rain. Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, SimRaceTrain. The racing line is probably going to be quite dry. There's definitely a dry line appearing. We can see it on the track. But with the track still classified as wet, off the racing line it's going to be so slippery. If these drivers are trying to make moves, or if they get off that line for a second, it's going to cost them. So you're living dangerously, that is for sure. And you can see there, in fact, the racing line is still quite wet. There are still puddles on the racing line. These guys are not out of the woods, that is for sure. As we're watching Emo Guy at the moment, still yet to pit, the only driver out on track to not come in. And, oh, is he going to get round in time? Only 40 seconds left in the pit window. I think Emo Guy may have shot himself in the foot here. I don't think he's going to get round in time to make a pit stop. I think he might end up getting a penalty in this race. Oh no, the Greek Emo Guy is going to get a penalty. Oh no.
He got caught out. Maybe wasn't paying attention to the pit window counter.
Oh, Iain. Oh, I feel so sorry for Iain right now, but we're currently seeing the only G at the moment. He looks like he's jumped Kurt in the pit. Look at this! Oh my goodness me! The only G and Kurt and Milden have all jumped Junior in the pits. Junior down to 5th. This is going to be due to tyres. This will be down to tyres, surely. But then again, how? How could it be tyres? Because it doesn't make any difference. Junior had the race under control. What's happened here?
Did his pit crew make a mistake while changing those tires?
Oh, Junior. Oh, no. Oh, no.
He's way off the back of
no.
them. What has happened? What did we miss?
Oh, lock and load.
Has such a commanding lead. And
I
it's all just
know.
gone.
He had this race under control. Lorna Hughes in the comments saying, what's happened with Junior? Oh, Junior seemed like he's had a bit of a hold up in the pits there, Lorna, and unfortunately he's lost positions to the only G, Kurt and Milden. G jumping Kurt and Milden in the pits. Crucially for him, G is now in the net lead of the race as Emo Guy makes his pit stop a day late and $1 short. He missed the pit window there, and it's going to be the only G coming round to take the lead of the race. All of a sudden, one of the many Rainmasters of this GT3 Tier 1 on ACC has the lead again. The winner at Brands Hatch earlier in the season on his debut in Tier 1 looks like he might be on course to take his 2nd win of the season. But now this is going to be interesting because he's got his teammate Kurt just behind him on the track, and obviously we know that Kurt has the lead in the championship, but his lead over Junior is quite substantial. So I wonder if there'll be team orders here to give Kurt that little bit more impetus going into the final round of the season, or are these two going to play it as it is based on Kurt having a pretty sizable lead anyway? He doesn't really need team orders to win this championship now, especially with Junior having those problems in the pits.
You know, I'm wondering, did the only G and maybe Kurt not change tires? Because they're still running at almost a good pace here. As I'm looking back at Junior and Milden, and they're kind of tiptoeing around the track because they're sliding around a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder. Emo. Oh no! Oh no!
What has happened?
The Greek Emo Guy has. It didn't count. He didn't put fuel in the car.
Oh no!
Oh no! He didn't put fuel in the car. Oh, Iain, what's going on, mate?
Pit stop either.
He didn't put fuel in the car, so it didn't count as a pit stop.
Oh my God! It's all gone wrong for Emo Guy.
Oh no!
I've done pit fuel in, it's because it's outside the pit window.
Oh no. Emo Guy down to 7th place. He's currently just ahead of these two hard chargers, Dr. Benji and Rachidas. Dr. Benji and Normac even. Rachidas a little way off of these guys. Currently 3.8 seconds behind the back of Normac. But, oh my goodness me. This is kind of blown this race wide open in terms of what's going on at the front. Obviously with Junior having that very, very sloppy pit stop. And he's now 17 seconds behind Milden, who Milden also, to be fair, had quite a bad pit stop as well.
I think they're on two different strategies. I think we're seeing the only G and Kurt still on the wets, and I think Milden and Junior is going to be on the dries.
Very possibly, but the thing is, the Greek, on ACC, regardless of tyre changes, your pit stops are still the same. So there's obviously been some kind of mechanical fault, because your pit stop is 30 seconds regardless of any other variables. Doesn't matter what variables there are.
If you don't change cars, it's 25 seconds, but if you change cars, it adds on 5 seconds.
See, it only adds on 5 seconds, so
only 5 seconds.
So that wouldn't account for this quite considerable margin between Kurt and Milden, and thus back to JR as well.
Watching JR right now, it looks like Matalis is actually catching him very quickly.
Yeah, Manchudis is reeling him in.
Junior just went out the track again.
Did he? Oh yeah, Junior there getting really out of shape there. And Manchudis now all over him in this fight for 4th place.
Horsepower.
Yeah, Junior looks like he's going to try and make the move up the inside. Junior's alongside. Junior's out dragging him. Junior looks like I think Manchudis, look at that Bentley go. Look at that Bentley go.
Yes, he did.
The Bentley's gonna do it. Yep, the Bentley's round the outside up into 4th place, and Junior losing out on that 4th place. Junior lock and load down to 5th place here in this race. Not what Junior would have wanted, that is for sure. Currently though, the only G leading this race by 2.3 seconds. He's just gradually eking out that gap over Kurt Hodgson bit by bit. We've got Milden running around in 3rd. Also came a little bit undone by the pit stops. Dropped off for the 2 leaders. Not as bad as Junior and Emo Guy. Well, Emo Guy didn't pit at all, but not as bad as Junior. And Milden though did have a little bit of a skirmish in the pits, which we didn't quite see, which has dropped him off the back of the 2 leaders, G and Kurt. Got a few more comments coming in at the moment. Timanowski saying he didn't stand right in the box. That might, well, it's obviously for Emo Guy, it's because he didn't come in during the pit window. Timanowski. SimRaceTrain congratulating G for his comeback in this race.
Yeah, because when I was watching Junior make his pit stop, he wasn't straight in his box. He was all sideways. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. It's so he didn't stop in the box. Maybe what he did is he stopped in the box thinking he'd stopped correctly, and then maybe walked away from the this is just me speculating, obviously I don't know this, but I'm speculating that possibly he stopped in the box, went off to quickly do something without realising that he hadn't stopped in the box, and then by that point obviously he'd lost absolutely heaps of time in the pit box, or not in the pit box should I say, but obviously it's cost him the lead in this race, and he's a long way behind right now. He's currently 4 seconds off the back of Manchudis, and Manchudis is pulling away from him in that fight for 4th place, so it's kind of
his teammate Emo Guy's catching him now.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Emo Guy is reeling in Junior at the moment, but Emo Guy still needs to come in and make his mandatory pit stop. Oh wait, no, the pit stop window's over. Yeah, no, sorry, we can't do it now. That's a shame. Dr. Benji reeling both of these two in though. Look at that. You've got the Ferrari number 77 looming larger in the background as G continues to gradually extend that gap over Kurt Hodgson, now 2.6 seconds separating those two. Milden continuing to run around in that final podium spot, a little way off of those two at the moment. J-Pom there saying great performance from Pink Panthers. They read the race well and chose the right strategy. Manchudis is now very fast in the second half of this race. Yeah, absolutely, J-Pom. He's really on it. Team Prolapse saying, is this a special race? It's not a special race, Team Prolapse. It's actually the penultimate round of the season for the ACC GT3s. So it's part of the league in which Kurt Hodgson is taking another step towards a what is most likely going to be the GT3 championship for the super season. But he's running a long way behind this man here, the only G, who seems to have control in these wet conditions. The only G, bit of a rain master, and he's driving an absolutely phenomenal race here tonight out front here on lap 20.
I'm noticing now though the sun has come out, and that's going to probably dry the track just a little bit quicker now. There's 15 minutes left in this race, so track conditions still have a chance to change in the favor of Milden and Locked and Load.
Yeah, lock and load. It's it might swing in his favour if he didn't put the wet tyres on, then he will definitely have pace towards the back end of this race.
We have contact
towards us, get together with the back marker.
Matalis has.
Oh no, Manchulis has crashed into Nilsson. I don't know whose fault that was, but Manchulis will not be happy with that because he was a leader and Nilsson, a lap car, getting in the way.
Such a great race.
Yeah, and we just had J-Palm in the comments there saying Manchulis catching Milden. Not anymore, J-Palm, not anymore. Manchulis is now a long way off the back of Milden. He's now down in 8th place. He's behind Rachidas. He's gone from hero to zero, has Manchulis. So that's just a real shame there. Team Prolapse there saying in the comments, G. The only G, leading the race by over 5 seconds at the moment, and is very much in control of this race.
Looking at the forecast,
He's played the strategy very well here.
15 minutes left, and the track conditions have changed to damp.
Yeah, it is drying out, isn't it? The track conditions are getting quicker and quicker. Is it going to be enough, though? That is the question. As J-Palm in the comments going, ooh, absolutely, J-Palm, I could not agree more. And SimRaceTrain there just saying what a shame it is for Manchulis. Obviously was coming back through, he was looking to make the most of it and possibly finish on the podium here in this race, but it wasn't to be for our man in the Boatley. It seemed like he was just getting into a rhythm and bringing himself back into it, but then he gets wiped out, gets sucker punched, and ultimately, you know,
that is absolutely heartbreaking.
It is, yeah. Oh, it is. It's gut wrenching for him.
Ratchet is right in the back there.
He is, yeah. You're absolutely right there, Ian. He's just over a second behind Junior Lock and Load.
So much pace right now.
Yeah, he's just going backwards in this race, isn't he? It's all gone wrong for him, I suppose. You know, since that pit stop, it just, I don't know. It's just hasn't. Maybe his morale has dropped, his confidence has taken a hit. He feels like he's not really. There's less of a cause now, isn't there? Now that he's down in 6th place, there's less of a reason to go for it. There's less motivation. Yeah, Ratchet's gonna go. Oh, he squeezes through, and Junior getting really wide there through that right-hander. Ratchet is up into 6th place. Oh, and Junior continuing to fall back. But I suppose now that he knows that his hard work is not going to be rewarded, it can just knock your confidence and your morale, and you feel like what you're doing is pointless. And I totally understand the situation that he's in right now. It's really upsetting for him because he had this race under control before the pit stops. But the only G, the current man with this race now under control, and he's got almost a 6-second lap. Yeah, he is, isn't he? He's continuing to put out that gap to Kurt Hodgson. SimRaceTrain in the comments saying would have been a P9 to a P3. It would have been SimRaceTrain. It would have been. We've got Peter Nilsson saying my fault for destroying Manchulis. Well, very honest of you there. Fair play, Nilsson, for holding your hands up there, mate. And it is a real shame, obviously, that that happened to both of you in that instance. But these things happen. Everybody makes mistakes, and as long as you show that
Emo got really
as long as you show a willingness to improve and do better, and put your mistakes behind you and do better in future, then I don't think anybody can really fault you, to be honest. And if they do, then they're just a bit, yeah. But, currently, G doing absolute bits out the front. 6.3 seconds he's got at the moment over Kurt Hodgson. And yeah, he's just continuing to do a phenomenal job out the front, as it looks like EmoGuy is closed up onto the back of Milden a little bit here in this fight for the final podium spot. As EmoGuy slips on the inside, Milden gets really wide there. Yeah, EmoGuy just mugs him on the inside. Went for the weak spot, and well and truly took advantage there.
I'll put EmoGuy up in the third now, but how's that penalty going to go against him?
Well, it will certainly pay havoc with his finishing position, won't it? Because he'll get an 80-second penalty, I believe, once we get to the checkered flag. So yeah, definitely not the race that EmoGuy would have been imagining when he went to sleep last night. As we are coming into the closing laps here of this GT3 Tier 1 race here on Assetto Corsa Competizione for Motive Racing's Super Season. The penultimate round of the season, still one more round left to go after this. Kurt Hodgson will extend his gap over Junior Lock and Load after this one. Lock and Load obviously had the lead in the early stages, but it all went to pot during the pit stops, didn't it? Good grief.
Yeah. It looks like the only G in the curve definitely had the strategy for this race. They already knew what was going to happen. The track wasn't going to dry out. It still was going to stay damp. And right now they're just walking away from everybody else, with Milden and Lock and Load slipping back now.
Yeah, indeed they are. They are. And
those dry sets are not helping them at all at this point.
No, they're still not really getting rubbered in, are they? They're not reaping the benefits of the track just at the moment. They're not paying dividends.
Even if the track was to dry out now, there's only 10 minutes. It's not enough to recover from this.
No, I think it's irretrievable now.
You'll never find an actual recover from this.
No, exactly. You'll never recover from it. That is for sure.
Nope. Taking a look at Dr. Benji right now, he's closed it. No gap between him and Milden.
Yeah, it looks like Dr. Benji's all over the back of Milden in this fight for fourth place. He's going to look to the outside. It looks like Milden's holding that inside line, but he's on a set of tyres that just do not seem to really go too well, and he pulls over there. I think the Greek, he let Dr. Benji through there. It looked like that was a let through, and Dr. Benji's up into fourth place, and that will be a podium once EmoGuy gets disqualified for skipping the pit stop.
Yeah, it looks like Milden's slipping further and further back now. Ratchet is closing the gap to Milden.
Indeed. We've got a comment here from Nicky. We've got 8 minutes left to go in this session. Just top right hand corner, you got the timer telling you how long is left in the race. Motoring Morgan saying our strategic's working overtime for this result. Well, they've done a fantastic job, Morgan. I dare guess that your strategists are you, possibly. If so, congratulations, because you've done an absolute masterstroke. Team 1-2 for Pink Panthers. As it stands, you've really pulled out pulled the rabbit out of the hat for sure.
Milden Sim Racing losing another spot to Ratchet. Ratchet
Sorry
taking
about that,
over
ladies and
that
gentlemen.
mid spot now.
Controller just died there. Apologies. But Yeah, indeed, Ratchetus there. Looks like he's doing a great job there up into...
Wow, the only G walking away with this race. Almost a 10-second lead. Still waiting for the timing system to update to see. 11 seconds. Has Kurt fall off the pace quite a bit.
Terribly sorry there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm sure you all know what happened. You saw on the screen there, my controller is disconnected. It's now plugged in, so it should be okay. Well, what happened there, the Greek, while I was away?
Milton Sim Racing has lost another spot to Ratchet. Ratchet up to 5th now. The only G, absolutely walking away with this race. 11-second lead now. Kurt really falling off the pace.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? It looks like the only G just has something in these conditions that nobody else has. In these changeable conditions, despite the track drying out, he's finding that dry line and he's making the most of it as he gets really slidey there, but he keeps on to it. Actually, that's Kurt. Sorry, that's not the only G. Sorry, that was Kurt. But here's the only G, the race leader. He's got 11 seconds of a lead at the moment over Kurt.
You said it earlier, he is the absolute rainmaster, and he's showing it right now.
Yeah, he really is. Nicky there in the comments saying Pink Panthers running away with this one. Yeah, they are, Nicky. They are riding off into the sunset with this race. They have fully got this one signed, sealed. They've posted it as well. The postman's on his way. He will be picking it up, taking it to the sorting office, at which point it will then be deposited into the local post boxes and then taken to the houses in which they are destined for. As we've got just under 5 minutes left to go here in this race. The Greek, I've got to ask you the $1 million question. I know I'm putting you on the spot, and obviously with 4 minutes left in this race, you could potentially be putting the commentator's curse on any one of these drivers, but I'm going to ask you for your driver of the day. Who has impressed you the most tonight?
Actually, I'm impressed by the only G. He ran a really consistent race, no mistakes, and had a great strategy. What puts him 13 seconds into the lead right now.
Yeah, to be honest, I agree with you. I can't disagree with that at all. I think that the only G has absolutely blitzed it throughout the course of tonight. He has not put a foot wrong. He had to do it the hard way as well. In fact, you know what, guys? I've got to actually let you into a little secret. The only G had to spend the formation lap again loading the stream up because I was faffing about getting the private stream ready to send to him. So actually, he was having to set up the stream on the formation lap. Thankfully, this time out, he didn't crash on the formation lap, and he was able to start the race with a car that was in pretty good nick, to be fair. And he's really made the best of it, hasn't he? For sure.
Oh, for sure. He's coming up to some back markers right now. Not a scratch on this car. Absolutely just beautiful,
pristine,
clean race. Yeah.
Yeah.
From where he started, what was down in the grid order was 10 for 11, and right now just leading the race and running away with it.
Yeah, it's been exquisite from this man out front. He's starting the penultimate lap of this race right about now. We've got Nicky in the comments saying Kurt seems to be struggling with a bit of grip, but he's got the skills. Yeah, I think maybe step up, maybe costing that McLaren. The Merc seems so just nailed down in these difficult conditions. We've got Motoring Morgan saying we can confirm that our strategist is our CEO, Motoring Morgan, who has performed a masterstroke with the strategy. I thought so. I thought that Morgan wouldn't be saying that about one of his staff. I imagined he'd be saying it about himself. Obviously we've got SimRaceTrain saying driver of the day is the only G from back to first with a 14-second lead. Absolutely wacky and wild. He didn't say wacky, he just said wild. J-Pom saying, is it just me or are curbs pink? Agree? What would you say? Would you say they're pink? I'd say they're white and red, personally.
Yeah, I would say more white and red.
Yeah, I don't know, they don't seem pink to me. But, oh actually, yeah, no, sorry. No, J-Palm's absolutely right. They are pink, because they're being owned by the Pink Panthers. The Pink Panthers have bought all of the curbs here at Paul Ricard. They've got proof of ownership. They got the rights to them. They even got their receipts as well. Always keep your receipts, ladies and gentlemen. Crucial.
Giving themselves a little bit of advantage in this race. He's running second right now. Maybe those curbs have something to do with it.
Yeah, very feasibly. Got some. Oh, hold on. What's happened? My laptop just died on me. What's happening?
No.
How rude!
You got everything. You got everything down. Your controller, laptop.
I'm gonna have to load up the stream on my phone. What is this?
What a major inconvenience.
I know, isn't it? It's first world problems, isn't it? I know. It's absolutely outrageous. You're absolutely right, Ian. You're absolutely right. It's just not what I need. But
we start the final lap right now.
Morgan in the comments say a 1-2 for the team. Yeah, absolutely beautiful there, Morgan. Only G driver of the day, nearly from last to first as J-Palm. Nikki saying, oh yeah, they are pink. Yeah, go on then. Alright.
Well, if you look up a real world picture of Paul Ricard, I'm sure they're red.
Is the only G slowing down?
It's the sunset that's making them look pink. That's what it is. It's the lighting that's making them look pink. It's the way that the sun shines on it. But one man that the sun has been shining on for the course of this race is this man here, the only G, as he's on to the final lap at Paul Ricard, and lap 28 of 28. What a superb job he's done. He is backing off a little bit. I hope there's not team orders going on.
Yeah, it was 18 seconds, and now there's a 6-second gap.
It has engine failure.
I really hope that this is a formation finish. I hope it's a formation finish. If this is team orders, it's going to put a bit of a bad taste in the mouth, I've got to say. I'm not going to mince my words here. It's definitely going to leave a bad taste in the mouth. I think Kurt might actually be close to wrapping up the championship anyway, even without G letting him past. So the only G's dominated this race, and he deserves this race win. He's coming into the last few corners now, as you see that sunset beautifully illuminating parts of the track, and you see it just shining, just reflecting off of that door of that AMG. He's now literally got about 2 or 3 corners left to go in this race. He's slowing right down.
Slowing down.
He's slowing right down.
Team orders,
formation finish. Formation finish for the Pink Panthers, maybe. These two want to cross the line together, you know, to signify their dominance. I think that's what it is. The only G, though, has not put a foot wrong throughout this race, from last to first and in towards the final corner now. He comes out of the last corner, takes the final apex and out onto the start finish straight, puts his foot to the floor, and is going to be slowing right down here. Yep, they're going to cross the line together, aren't they? So the only G takes the win here at Paul Ricard. Kurt Hodgson comes over in second place. The Pink Panthers completely blitzing the rest of the field. They played it right with the pit strategy. They've played a blinder here and blinding us with that with his flash, with the flash of the lights there. The only G. Kurt Hodgson coming over in second place to complete that 1-2, and a beautiful little theatrics there from the only G as they come into the runoff area at the first corner. Emo
we
Guy.
still got a battle going on back here between Dr. Benji and Ratchet.
Yeah, Emo Guy will cross the line to take third on the track, but he will lose that.
30 seconds.
Yeah, he didn't want to come in the pits, so he'll get a penalty.
Oh my.
Dr. Benji comes over to finish in fourth, just holding off Ratchet us there at the end. Milden looks like he's been passed. Junior's got ahead of Milden. Junior, lock and load, has made the move up into 6th place. He thinks he's going to hold on. Junior out the last corner is going to take 6th, I think. Has he done it? Junior does it. Brilliant driving there from Junior, lock and load, to take 6th ahead of Milden Sim Racing. Manchulis is coming out of the last corner now. It's going to be an 8th place for Manchulis in the Bentley in that number 13.
They park next to each other.
Yeah, looks like it. Normac coming into the final turn now, and it's going to be a 9th place for Normac in this race in the number 76 Aston Martin. Beautiful. Chris is going to come around to take a final top 10 spot here in the Porsche, and the wall. Driving in the go. Bring on the wall! Okay. Maybe not. Comes over to take a P10, and that is that for the classification. Evo Guy in the end classified in 11th. Nilsson, Mr. O, SimRaceTrain and Marty all didn't finish the race, as we see Emo Guy smashing some ornaments and breaking thousands of pounds worth of goods in the process. But unfortunately for him, not the race he would have wanted. The only G. Kurt and Dr. Benji completing your podium, ladies and gentlemen. That was absolutely brilliant. What fantastic action we had here. The Greek, it was an absolute pleasure you joining me in the commentary box. Was great to have your insight and analysis, and hopefully we can do this again at some point soon in the future.
Yes, thank you for having me. It was a great time again to commentate for this. Absolutely, Tier 1 on ACC is absolutely amazing every time I have to commentate it. Great racing all around.
Yeah, it is always. These guys, some of the best of the best, and we always see some closely fought but hard fought contests. And ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you see, then join us at MeltedRacing.com. Drop a like on this video before we get off air. It really helps us out an enormous amount. Also, a big thank you to all of our patrons, those of you who signed up to our Patreon service. Hopefully it's appearing on the screen in front of you now. If it is, big thank you to the Only G. But also thank you to all of the guys who are on the Patreon service. If it's not on the screen, look in the description, but hopefully it is on the screen. And we will see you in the next one, for when we're next on the channel, which hopefully is on the touring cars. But if not the touring cars, then we'll catch you tomorrow for the Porsche Super Cup. But from us, it's a very good night, and yeah, see you in the next one.